Never know with him.
Rivers? I don't know. Him and his 50 kids. I don't know.
No, that's that other guy who played for the Rams.
Warner?
I think it's him.
No, Philip Rivers has like freaking 14 kids.
Cool for him.
Yeah.
14 kids. That's impressive. With one
He's,
woman?
yeah, he's got his own football team.
How
He's
many,
actually got his own basketball team.
how many were adopted?
I don't know. I know he has a shit ton of them. That's for sure.
What's up, Raider Nation and Justin?
Sorry, guys. I can't see the chat tonight. My interweb here at the house went boo boo till tomorrow. So if you want to
What's up,
bash me in the
William,
chat,
Jimmy?
now's your time to bash me in the chat because I can't see it.
Yeah, you guys could talk as much trash as you want about CBC. He can't read the chat tonight. All he has is his phone going. He broke his internet at home, and they wouldn't come fix it today.
Now they got to come tomorrow morning.
People are just popping in now.
All right.
Oh, what a week. As soon as Sunday comes next week, I'll be good. That he is. That he is. Yeah, he can't play no video games. He can't go on those special websites. None of that.
No.
I mean, just imagine having no internet. Your whole life stops. Just imagine if
Yeah,
his phone didn't have internet. His whole life would stop.
not really. I just watch TV.
Wasn't your cable going through your internet?
No.
Hmm. Somebody got a pack. Justin got a package in from you. It looks like he's sleeving up cards from you. Man, what came out today? iMac.
Collegiate.
Yeah, gonna say college stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get in any of it. You notice G1 didn't go live today? I wonder if his stuff didn't come in or if he's fishing.
He's probably fishing because he made a killing off his NT.
More than likely.
Yeah,
I
he's
have
fishing.
noticed Sasha T has not put a video out because I was wondering about that. I actually looked, it was either yesterday or today, because I was just curious, and no video from him ever since he did the airport one and he hurried up and threw something out like a day later.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy on all that stuff. Really, I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff. I still see people posting about the national. Um, really hasn't been much. I watched Loot Box open up 3 boxes of first off the line NT, and you get an RPA out of 8 in each box, which I like. They didn't pull anything crazy. I think there might have been a Halliburton auto. I don't know what it was out of.
People like Halliburton.
Yes, auction will be next Saturday. I won't know the time until I put a video out Thursday, everybody. I gotta see if I can get one more person to pop in for the live sale and auction piece of it. I don't think he'll auction, he'll just do sales. But look probably somewhere between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard starting, depending if I get him in or not.
Maxie went off last night. He had like 39 points last night.
Hmm. And most of my stuff will probably be wax boxes, to be honest. Topps Chrome will be in. And I may have Space Jam. I'm waiting to see when they put out the auto checklist because I'm pretty sure LeBron will be in. Everybody's going to want that stuff.
Well, I want a Chrome Hobby.
People ripping SGC. SGC, in my opinion, is good for vintage. The modern stuff, it's good to flip. And the only reason I say that is because stuff that I wouldn't send to PSA went to SGC and got a much higher grade. But again, each company is going to grade different. Depends on their standards, their algorithm, on how they come up with the overall grade based off of the 4 areas: surface, corners, edges, and centering. One's more bigger on centering than anything. One's big on corners. Well, actually, 2 are big on centering.
Why is
One's
everybody
big
ripping
on
SGC
corners.
for? Why are they ripping SGC for?
DraftKings is trying to get in the NFT market. Oh boy.
Oh, God.
You know, there was a new like NFT, it just came out, and I only knew about it from the Facebook groups I belong to. It's called Blow Packs. Blow Packs. I saw some of the cards that they did their packs from, and I don't understand it though that much because I'm not an NFT person. But like all the cards looked like there was like they're out of like 2024 something like that, and you own a percentage of it. I don't know the whole thing behind it. Uh there was like a Ronaldo 99 auto from Beckett. I remember a Jordan Upper Deck SP1 PSA 10, stuff like that.
I ain't touching none of that NFT stuff.
Is Joey a Derek Carr fan?
No. Why? Because of my old Fresno State shirt?
I have no idea. I just asked.
No. Just our local college.
Did you watch Jeff and Teapot talk about how Panini has ruined select football with their multi? I didn't watch it because I said it way before when I found out they were going retail. All they're doing is regurgitating information that's already been put out there way before. Because as soon as I found out that select football went to retail, I was done with select.
Blasters
I'll
and
take
Megas
what I
of
get out of
basketball
it.
are out now.
Huh?
Blasters and Megas are out now of basketball. I saw some
No.
Blasters and Megas on my slabs of select.
Mm.
So
Yeah, Theodore, the people I knew that were at the National didn't see it moving, but then again, they either had boosts or they weren't looking for SGC cards. I know a couple people that picked up vintage SGC, but that's about it. Everybody's got their preference on what they want to collect and what they want to invest into and who they trust. Everybody has their own mentality on how they're going to use grading companies.
well, you got to think SGC. It's been around a long time too. So I mean,
It's been around for a while, but like I said, most of their stuff was always because of vintage, but they used the 100-point system back then too.
mhm.
Where now it's the grades. I mean, I like their older labels and their newer labels. I mean, but I can tell you SGC's taking longer now on orders. Where they were going, you were getting them in and out within like 8, 9 business days. Mine is, I don't know, probably on 14, 15 by the time I get it back now. So they're starting to get more in. Oh yeah. So and the thing is, they killed zebras, they killed silvers by doing it. You overpopulate the field levels. That's why I was done with it. I mean, now, you mean if I really want a big gamble, you got NT, iMac, Flawless. Those are probably the 3 that I'll have to try to settle to get into now with most of that stuff. I mean, basketball at least has no war. Oh, they both have impeccable too.
Well,
Baseball,
they got Revolution. I like Revolution. That's hobby only.
yeah, it just doesn't get a lot of love. And as soon as it does, it'll go retail. I guarantee it.
Probably.
I mean, for baseball, I wish I could have gotten luminaries. I only knew one person. They did a player break, and I just couldn't do player break. I'm just not a fan of it. Now, if you're doing like a 10 case break or something, I might get into and spend the money on that. But
I'm really surprised that Nini went and did Mosaic baseball this year, but they're not doing Mosaic basketball. That kind of surprised me.
yeah, no Mosaic basketball this year.
But they're doing Mosaic baseball, which is kind of interesting.
I'm not going to get any of it. I don't want to touch it. I mean, Panini's pretty much done on the baseball market unless you get into NT or iMac to where you're pulling a bat knob, a cut auto, even the relics sell well. I mean, unless it's something cool like a 1 out of 3 or something, a lot of stuff never did well. I remember having a 3 Judge iMac True RPAs, and I sold them right there on the spot when I got them out of the break. I think they were selling for 350 a pop or something like that back then. I just didn't want them at all. I was chasing bat knobs, bat barrels, whatever else they were, cut autos out of that stuff. I don't know. I mean, I don't really have much base cards to sell on eBay anymore. And if I do, they go pretty quick. But you can't judge eBay anymore just solely off of the sales of cards. There's Instagram that goes on, Twitter goes on, Whatnot has their big thing. You have My Slabs. There's all kind of different avenues where stuff is selling. It's just a lot of people are starting to go away from eBay. You got to remember, PayPal just raised their fees from 2.9 to I think it's like 3.49% now. eBay, what did you say you were paying? 13%?
13 and a half, almost 13 and a
13 and a
half.
half percent on his eBay. So I mean, it realistically, it's just not good at all.
Mm-mm.
Oh, Chronicles, I hated Chronicles was a good idea at first in 17, 18 when it came out in basketball. I liked it. But after that, they made it into the trash product. Let's show everything that we don't really have sales in into this product. We'll throw one hype product in it that everybody's going to want. And let's go make all kind of cool other new product. I
Mhm.
don't get Chronicles. That's why like with football, like certified football is what, 350 a box, you said, or something?
Mm,
I, you looked it up the other day.
certified football, something like that.
That's
Certified
some
football,
ridiculous
yeah.
amount of money for a box of certified football. I remember the MSRP being 120 on a box and everybody was selling it at 130. There was no profit margins on that stuff when we broke it. It was horrible, horrible. Um, Don Russ, that stuff
That's
used to
what
be
that's what I
so
was telling you
dirt.
about.
Well, you mentioned certified too, because I said I had a box of it
Yeah,
coming.
but I said Don Russ football was going to be 350, just
No,
based on
I think Don Russ is more.
450. I thought maybe 450. I think Don Russ football base box is going to be like 350 or 450 this year, and I'm like, that's just Don Russ. I know it was ridiculous. I was like, are you kidding me? It's just Don Russ. I was looking on Blowout the other day.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it. I have their case up. Oh yeah, it is 350. Yep.
350 for just
Oh, that's
Don
right. It's an
Russ.
18 box. Yeah, an 18 box case is $6,300.
Yeah, of just base Don Russ.
Oh, I mean, they'll probably have some kind of insert that's like one per case that everybody's going to try to chase now.
They might
But
have the
as a breaker,
downtowns
you
or the
don't want to break
kabooms.
that stuff. It's horrible. You got the cards that are every which way, upside down, backwards, and everything else. You're trying to figure it out. I mean, I hated when I was doing full cases of Don Russ from Otani's year. Those were 20 box cases. I had 2 cases. You're talking about a 3 to 3.5 hour break going through that stuff. It was horrible.
They'll
After that,
have
I said I would never do it again.
they'll have the blue and red press proof, the canvas cards. They'll probably have I don't know what insert. I don't think Kaboom will be in them. Kaboom will probably be an absolute, and then downtowns will be an
No,
optic.
Don Russ had the big headed people. I forget what they called them.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, the big time. I think that's what they were called or
No,
something
they
like
weren't
that.
big. I can't remember what they were or something because I
Yeah.
pulled the Otani the first year. And those were like one per case of 20 boxes. It was crazy.
Hmm.
Optic's a nice product, but it went retail stupid. That's why I don't touch it. I was a fan of Optic back in 17, 18 because I liked the velocities and stuff that came out. If you had the cash like me, you'd buy Flawless Denti. I don't buy it. I mean, I was tempted to sell a couple cards, honestly, to buy 3 cases of NT first off the line, just for the fact you get a 1 out of 8 or an out of 8 RPA per box plus an additional RPA from what I've seen. So 2 RPAs. I mean, the 1 out of 8, if you're out of 3 boxes, hopefully you at least get a mid-end one. It's going to try to kind of break your money back. And maybe you get a nice vet or something in there. But the chase is if you could pull that LaMelo, you could pull that Edwards, you're good. The rest of them are just like going to be, yeah, I got, a Halliburton and all them other guys, but they're not heavily where people are going to want to buy them right now.
Kira Lewis, Nawara, Maxi, Halliburton,
They're still
Edwards,
not going to get you that type of
Wiseman,
money that
Wiseman,
you need to make it. Oh, Wiseman. Yeah, if you got a Wiseman, you'll get your money back. But then you're starting to bank off of Curry's, LeBron patches, logo men, all that
Luca.
other stuff onto it.
Yeah.
Oh, you talk about Mosaic for 21-22 because the one with LeBron rookie year, I haven't seen anything come out on it. Or not LeBron, LaMelo's rookie year. Maybe they're moving it late this year. I could be wrong, but I didn't see anything on it, even with the distributors pumping their emails out.
Yeah, it wasn't even on Blowout. They were advertising Mosaic baseball on Blowout.
Oh, I miss tops in basketball and football. The one I missed the most in basketball is Upper Deck.
I miss
I
Fleer
remember
Ultra.
always trying to chase the Jordan stuff in the breaks, and you were talking about the Bulls are like 125, $150 normally.
I miss Fleer Ultra because the gold medallions and the platinum medallions.
Yeah, Platinum came out like their third or fourth year. It used to just be gold at first. Then they
I like
started
those.
doing the die cut ones of them and getting stupid.
Yeah, but I like Fleer Ultra because of that. Plus, they had some of the best inserts in the '90s.
I don't think we'll ever see another stimulus check. I don't, but it's just one of those things. COVID's getting bad again. I have a funny feeling the shows are going to start getting shut down in my area again because there's a lot of places that require you masks. I've heard people now talking Chick-fil-A's are now only drive-through. You can't go inside. Some Taco Bells were doing it and all that stuff. So, and I can tell you there's a bunch of people went to the national that have COVID. Well, they're recovering from COVID now. Oh yeah, it's basically you're right. It's high stakes gambling. You got to sit there and pick it. And we were in an NT break, and it's no joke. I skimmed through there and I took the Bucks, right? And I was like, I bet she pulls a Noora. And I was like, dang it, the Heat. That's where that Precious dude is at. I should have taken them. No joke, out of 10 Precious. And see, that's
Yeah,
the
the
thing. You
gold.
can't really go for the big RPAs because there's probably going to be at least something like the small mediocre first rounders in there, and those are the ones you try to chase to at least get your money back. Because I can't see spending $3,500 on the Hornets and not even getting a base card.
Yeah, yeah. No, I took the Raptors in both of them when I didn't get nothing. I was chasing Malachi Flynn. Nothing. Not one Raptor card in 2 cases. So I didn't even get a card.
I don't know. It'll be interesting because Panini has contracts through the 2022 season, so we'd still see 2022 football. This would be technically the last basketball with this new draft class. We'll see. Hopefully they lose it.
I hope they lose it. I hope Upper Deck comes in and swoops up basketball. I hope Tops comes in and swoops in football. I would love to see Tops Finest and Tops Chrome football come back. Then we'll actually see Bowman and Bowman Chrome football come back too if Tops gets football.
You know, Johnny, actually, the one pack boxes, there's smart ways of looking at by getting your cards because I mean, Bowman's always going to be Bowman, but if you really look at it, when Bowman makes their retail product, it's not like you could get all the crazy stuff into it because a lot of the color variations are hobby only. Oh, I forgot I had stuff on eBay. I was like, why is my phone blowing up all of a sudden?
I'm on our way home.
But yeah, that's what I've been getting into. I like Definitive. I like Diamond Icons. I like Dynasty. I like Luminaries. I even like Topps Chrome Black last year. It was a great product. You get a pack of cards and a slab card, and the pack of cards had three cards in it. One was a refractor, and the other two were base.
See, I'm still debating if I want to get one of those Topps Chrome anniversary ones that are coming out with that Diamond anniversary. I'm kind of wondering if I should or not. That's a big checklist.
700 cards. I think it's going to be one of the sets everybody that's a set collector is going to want to get.
Mm-hmm. Well, those 52 designs, everyone likes
Trust
those.
me, I have a few boxes on pre-order. It's confirmed, and everybody's been bugging me for them. I'm like, I don't know.
I wouldn't. I'd keep them and open them yourself.
Oh, so there is Mosaic basketball for 2021 coming out. Okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
just haven't seen anything distributor level.
I didn't see anybody have anything out on it either.
You know, Johnny, I redid the way I used to do it. I used to love chasing the top teams whenever it was made sense with the money. Now I try to look for somebody who has a mid-tier rookie with those vets in it. So like Noora and Giannis, both in that. I'll go into like looking for Zion autos. I'll look for second year autos and stuff like that. Trey Young. They're more reasonably priced, and you just have a better odd onto it than trying to chase those RPAs, honestly.
Well, Zion Kira Lewis Jr., everyone likes that kid. I think he's going to be pretty good.
On a side note, the previous exclusively in hobby symmetric format select now is. Oh yeah, they ruined select. It's horrible now. Horrible. No, Panini's not selling. They're trying to bring in some backer group or something. Basically, it's the more money that they get dumped in their pockets, and now more people are going to be in charge, and it's crazy with that stuff. I think it'd be
Uh,
interesting to see the battle because I'm just curious on how much stuff would float off of Panini. You bring back in Upper Deck and Tops. Panini's going to have to cut a lot of that garbage product out.
Now, is it confirmed LaMelo signed his Hornet contract with Panini? I know he's an NT. Maybe he
Yeah,
just
he
signed for
signed
that one.
because otherwise there would not be autographs.
True, but maybe he just said, "I'm not signing anything else. I'll sign for
No, he
NT."
has to sign it all. You just can't say I'm only going to sign this product. It's contracts for everything. Now he has to back sign all that other crud. It could take a year, it could take 5 years, it could take a month, depending on how quick he goes. Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of the stuff this year that used to be a lot of on card did go to sticker because of COVID. So it was one of those weird situations this year. And I mean, honestly, they got like Tops has Hank Aaron autos on stickers. So to me, if next year or this year there's a product I get a Hank Aaron auto, it's on sticker, I'm fine with it. Hopefully he stayed on sticker, but you never know with that. No, I haven't been invested in anybody to be honest. For I just go after certain cards and stuff like that. The last person I really ever invested in was Luca, and I mean it turned out well. I really can't live up past that hype. I lucked out getting into some Justin Herberts before stuff went stupid crazy, but not really. I mean, I still look for like my Big Ben autos. I look for low numbered, high low pop cards just because they're going to hold better value. Next year it ends 2022. So they're licensed with everything. So even their football for 2022 could dip into 2023. I can see Kenny Golden starting his own auction channel. QVC flashbacks. Gosh. But see, Kenny Golden was hardly ever on. He was always the phone call dude.
It was the guy on the phone in the other room.
Harris did all right in his first game for the Steelers. I mean, it was nothing spectacular, but you got to remember the life expectancy for a running back is like 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everybody puts it in quarterbacks and wide receivers. You could pretty much replace them year after year by draft. There's very few elite receivers anymore out there.
Mac
Well,
Jones
what's
looked good
funny
though.
is the price that people were paying for the Hornets. Okay, get this. They're paying $3,500 in NT plus for the Hornets, right? You could have went on eBay. It coughed up a couple $100 more because I saw them for 3,400 NT first off the line boxes. I mean, well, why wouldn't you just buy your own box? At least you're guaranteed some cards.
Yep.
Yeah, Eloy's picked up big time in prices. I've been seeing a lot of his Sapphire rookies going because I sold mine when it was 400. Now they're 550 plus.
Who?
Eloy.
Oh, Jimenez.
Uh-huh. I agree. Mac Jones did look good. I watched
Mm-hmm.
it last night until he got pretty much pulled out of the game. But I think being a young rookie that he did very well. I mean, there was one throw that I was like, whoa, I probably wouldn't have thrown that coverage because if you're playing, your veteran players out there, I don't think it probably would have been intercepted. But I mean, I've seen there's a lot of people that are showing up because of the new collecting bargain that want their contracts, renewed and all this stuff in the final season. And they're showing up, but they're not doing any practicing. TJ Watt's one of them. You got two dudes on the Seahawks and a couple others too.
I like how Matt Jones looked last night. He actually looked like he was able to keep up with the pace of the game. Because going from college to NFL is a totally different animal when it comes to pace. And he did pretty good. He ran no huddle. He had one ball that he overthrew, one that a receiver dropped in the end zone, which should have been a touchdown if that receiver probably would have just dove for it. He probably would have got it. So it went off his fingertips. But out of that, he looked pretty good. He looked poised. He looked like he stuck in there. He was able to go with that offense, and he was able to go with the pace of the game.
That's first preseason game. It's going to be slow. As they progress, you'll start seeing more vets getting into games. That's where it's going to be different. It's almost like watching NBA Summer League.
But not just that, he's going to be the second string anyways. Cam's going to get the start anyways.
Yeah, I have ended up hitting a couple Metcalfs, but I graded them and sold them quick. I wasn't going to hold him, especially since a lot of his autos were redemptions, because I know Contenders was the big one. It was redemption.
I have a Metcalf rookie auto, but I'm not going to get it graded because it's not the greatest on the corners. Where is it at? Oh, right here at a certified. Yeah, the 299. It's a nice patch too. Was gonna send it in to, but I looked at it and I was like, no. So I just have it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
You could invest in the pre-2019 wax, but it's pretty high up there. I mean, I was sitting there. That's nice. That's what plates and patches.
Certified 259 to
Certified.
299. But the patch on it's nice.
Yeah.
I
And
like
the
the
only
patch
thing
on that.
with stuff prior to 2019, especially football and basketball, you're going to pay out big time for the product anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, the more it gets ripped, then you also got to pay attention who was redemptions that year, or they expired, and all that stuff onto it. I'd like to see play this year. Eason. I'd like to see how well some of these younger guys can do. mean, Haskins went out there second game and he put on a nice show. He does that for another preseason game. I don't know who they're going to get rid of, Mason Rudolph or Dobbs. I mean, they already got rid of Dobbs once. I could see them just cutting him again. Well, the thing is with Panini's contract, they have to produce so many products per year. It's crazy. When they signed that contract, I want to say it was 2017, 16, maybe 18. I can't remember. But the NBA wanted more product out of them, and so did the NFL for their licensing. And that's when we started seeing all these other crazy products come about. Oh, what's up, Nuts, man? Yeah, I'll tell you what, that slab case is nice. It's nice. I really enjoy the one I have here because I could close the lid. I could stack probably like about 10 of them up on it. It's not going to wobble over real easily. But real nice cases. Oh, nice. Nice, Henry. Fields is supposed to play 3/4 tomorrow. That'll be something to keep an eye on with the Bears. Yeah, Haskins looked good. He looked good. I mean, but then again, he wasn't really playing a hard defense. It'll come down to once some better players on the field to see how well he really does. Yeah, the rookie class this year for baseball is not that great. It really isn't. I did look at my not his. I didn't look at it with the Dream Crusher. I looked at my own with Dream Crusher. Yeah, the weekly products are just usually you're getting 5, 6 releases between Tops and Panini each week. And that's not even to count like all your other stuff that's coming out between hockey, soccer. Well, I kind of count soccer in with my stuff, but you got UFC, you got wrestling, you got all your gaming things and stuff. It's insane. Okay, so it was 2016. That's what I was trying to remember. It was 16 or 17. But yeah, I mean, they when they did, they had to agree on X amount of products being produced. And that's when they started coming up with all them different variants, like plates and patches was one. Um, gosh, I'm trying to remember them all now. There were just so many different products they came out with because every time I turned around, how many cases you want? You sure you don't want more to break? And I'm like, no, I don't even know if this is going to be a good product. Heck, I remember getting Prism football in 2000. What was McCaffrey's rookie year? 17?
Yeah, I think so.
It wasn't 17. Wait, 18 was, yeah, it was 17. And I think I had like a case and a half of it on pre-order, and I was selling the wax boxes everywhere like 250 a box, and I was selling them everybody at 200 straight across the board. Gone. Tops now, Field of Dreams just hit. Yeah, I won't get into all that stuff. It's just way too much with Tops, all that stuff online. Ultimate Hockey, yep. 1 pack, 4 cards. I remember when that stuff first came out years ago. That and the Cup. Those were like your, well, besides SP Authentic, those were like your two big ones to chase. I mean, everybody liked the Young Guns and stuff. I was a fan of SPX originally when it came out. Then it kind of like died. That there, and I like Black Diamond, especially when they made the Ruby parallels.
Oh, I like the old 90s SPX.
What's up, Grunt Dad? I remember when the Cup came out, I was home in Pennsylvania. I was everywhere trying to find the cup in every little freaking card shop there was. There was this rinky dink place, like 2 towns from where my mom's at. And I called and he's like, yeah, I got 3 cases and a couple loose boxes. Like, oh my, I'm coming, I'm coming. Drove the whole way down there, picked up the full case and 2 loose boxes. I want to say they were selling at 500 or 600 a box. Then it was expensive. It was a lot of money. But what was cool was they also came out with this buyback product. It was like a repack in a way at the same time frame. You got one in like graded card or one touch card. And back then, like they were giving away, like there were so many Gretzky, Opeachy, and Topps rookies come out. He gave me 4 boxes of it at cost. So we kind of worked a deal out. So I still have the case of fifth or of the cup. I opened the loose boxes up. They were crud right across the board. I remember getting like a Patrick Waugh auto, and that was probably like the biggest hit out of it all. But the uh the buyback stuff was like really cool because I end up getting a Lemieux Topps PSA 9 rookie out of it was one. I pulled I can't even think who the other dude was now. Man, it's not even gonna hit me. But I mean, oh, Brett Hall. Brett Hall. And it was a cool looking card too. It wasn't a rookie or nothing, but it was I want to say it was like '01 or '02, but it was a cool looking card of them. It was nice stuff. I remember pulling the 101 Patrick Waugh NFL or NHL Shield. It was a redemption. That thing took 2 years to come to me. I got it out of a David Adams break. And by the time it came to me, luckily, it sold for 800 bucks. I was so happy. Now I can just imagine what that card's worth. I have, yes, I have some Prism Silvers and I have the NT. NT patch nonsense. Ah, I mean, some of the stuff's player worn, some of it can be game worn. You just got to read it. I mean, most of the stuff's can be player worn just so you can get the cool stuff. You got to think of how much they got to produce of that stuff between NT, iMac, and Flawless. Hockey's a great sport. I mean, I love watching it. I always have, but I grew up, you know, watching hockey. That was our thing because, we had Mario Lemieux. So that's pretty much, all I knew for a while. That football and baseball. And I knew Michael Jordan played basketball. And because my dad was a big gambler, and I just liked watching the game with him on it. I would. That's the first game I ever watched. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And so I could be sitting there playing my Atari or Nintendo, depending on what time it was and stuff. He'd be like, the Bulls are on TV. And I'm like, I'm coming, I'm coming. I'd go run in the family room to watch it because that there in my parents' bedroom both had cable boxes. The TV for my video games was still like antenna UHF or whatever they called that stuff back then. Oh, I didn't even see him. I couldn't even tell you. Let me see. Oh, I don't even have my box here. I was gonna look at my iMac patch. So you're saying this year's NT basketball is not player worn or game worn? They're just threw some patches in a card. Oh man, Eaton Park, man, they used to have the best buffets. Breakfast buffets, I used to love it. And then when I got older and I got 21, I was home. And we used to go in there on Friday and Saturday nights for their midnight buffets. Oh gosh. Especially after the bar, because it was right across the road. It says it isn't. So that's just this year's product, right? Birds on the bat for NT. Well, I'm kind of glad I didn't get into NT this year, because if it says it's not associated with any player event, I do not like that. William, I'd probably say the answer to that is yes, that mostly every product has redemptions. But you always got to check to see who the redemptions are. I mean, like the Findish this year, Trout and Griffey was a redemption. So that's a big killer that if you don't open that product up before they expire, you'll never see those cards.
Speaking of Steelers, there you go.
Huh. I wonder if that's due to COVID this year and them actually getting the jerseys or not from them to do it. That's kind of odd. As expensive as NT is, you would expect it to be that. Now I'm starting to wonder if Flawless is the same way. Boy, some people will look at it as a decrease and some people won't. If you're a buyer, you're going to say a decrease. If you're a seller, you're going to be still a cool patch regardless, and LaMelo signed it. It's going to be one of those things where people are going to argue depending on who has the ownership of the card versus who's going to want the card.
Yeah, I probably still got about another month till my LaMelo comes back from Beckett.
Justin, they can be. You just gotta get with Brian. I have his email in that other thing if you want a custom case. Otherwise, the link is pinned as a top comment to his eBay store. But the top loader is pretty much fitting the one I got. But I also have in between one touches, which fit pretty much just like a PSA card.
You want to see if top loaders fit? I mean, I have my case out right now. Yeah, it fits. Top loaders fit. There's maybe like this much of a gap on the side, but they do fit. Top loaders are good. They're nice and snug, that's for sure. They're not really loose.
Yeah, I've heard about that. The LaMelo auto, he already changed the way his signature is. But it's expected. I mean, when you first start off signing cards, you're going to use one signature, and eventually, because they're going to say you got to sign X amount per year, you're going to get tired and just start scribbling out your name. I can see that all the time. I don't know if Wood's going to get called up. I mean, he did well for preseason. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is some people will argue the eye pill. Some people will argue that the patch is not definitely game worn, player worn, or anything. Somebody asked what card that was you just showed.
The Franco Harris. These were kind of oddball ones. In '89 score, they made these. These are called the Sure Shots. It's autographed by Franco Harris.
Jeff said I can't pull his eBay up right now because of the stream. I don't remember. It's something with an underscore or two in it. But if you go to the video, the slab case, the pinned comment has it. The actual link to his store.
I think I have it written down somewhere. What his? I thought I did somewhere.
Oh, those cases are real nice. I mean, I understand people are like, you can go to Harbor Freight and all these places and stuff, but The thing is, my first case was pretty much a Harbor Freight plucking foam thing. And I'll tell you, I wasn't happy with it. Some people, hey, they don't want to, spend whatever the cost is for a pre-cut one. I got it. Maybe they want to pluck their foam out, the squares, but it just didn't sit right. And I even tried ordering different foam pieces to put in that had different measurements to pluck out. And it was just, I couldn't get it to work right. I gave up. Yeah, see, I was a big Jack Lambert fan back in the day. I remember him doing the Kennywood commercials and stuff. And preseason, all their stuff, their training camps and all that was in Latrobe, where I'm from. So I remember my mom taking me to a game, and we were waiting. All the players would come up after their little scrimmage and stuff. And I couldn't get him to sign an autograph. My mom camped out the back door with me. I mean, we waited for, I bet you it was about 2 hours plus after the game. He come walking out the corridor, saw it was us two plus my mom's friend and her daughter, I think, was with us. He went right back in and he waited another 30 minutes, came out. And then he did pictures and he signed for us and stuff. He was a nice guy.
You need a Jack Lambert? I got a Jack Lambert. If you want one, it's out of 99.
I just buy the autos of them.
Yeah, I got one.
Oh, no, I just get like Flawless and NT normally of them.
That one was at a press pass.
Mid-tier cards that are raw, 150, 200 bucks, depending on the condition. I mean, if you want to flip it now and you're kind of worried of it's centered well, but you think there's some surface issues, SGC. If you want to hold it for a while, I just wait for PSA to open back up and send it there. I had my stuff separated that way to what was going to go to SGC because I knew PSA was going to ding it and I wanted to flip it quick versus, hey, I can hold this for a while. It's in good condition and I'll just wait it out. The greatest value is going to be basketball, hands down, for any sport. Collecting wise, I don't really collect a sport. I collect players. I just stick to players. It's easier for me to do.
Yeah, see, I missed the boat on getting Curry autos a while back, but I still ended up getting me a raw one, and PSA certified it. I know you're a stickler against raw autos, but I mean that's what a lot of my collection is.
Yeah, I just don't do them.
And autos, as long as it's certified, that's all that matters.
And different collectors will look at it differently.
Yeah.
That auto there won't even come close to having a freaking NT auto of him price value.
Oh, no.
And the other thing is they've graded autos that aren't legit too across the board, all the companies. Another reason why I won't touch them. Supposedly Panini or Topps is supposed to have somebody verifies and watching them doing it, so stick with what they have there and guaranteed. And if for some reason it didn't happen, it's a license between you and them. I'm not a fan of CSG with their labeling. And my fear is this, that, you have people, well, SGC, I'm going to leave them in because they've been around for a while. CSG's been around with comic books, but they just hit the baseball card market. Then you have HTA. Then you got like the other 20 companies that's come out. I don't see a whole lot of them in 2 years being around. I don't. No matter what their gimmick or catchphrase is, that's all it is. Oh, we're the first to do this, that, or anything else. It's about seeing within that first 6 months to a year sales on that stuff. And I don't think we're going to see that. People are
I,
still going to go out and spend the bigger money at the bigger companies regardless onto it. I mean, there's some great newer companies out there, but there's also a lot of them that are, I call them foolish. Along with that new thing, what's it called? Scorecard, card score.
card score that I told you about.
I think that's the biggest gimmick there is out there. You
Hmm.
come over to our shop, which that shop paid to get that stuff and that equipment, they get a percentage of it. And then all of a sudden, 100 people that they pay to review your card is going to give you a score. And I knew somebody did it with 2 cards to the national just to see that we're graded, and they both were way off, way off. And I'm just not a fan of that stuff. It's a great gimmick onto it. Hey, you don't know how to grade your own cards? Give us between $10 and $100, depending on how quick you want it back, and we'll give you a determination of where we think your card should be at. I'll
And
save
my
the money and do it, learn it myself, and do it myself.
and then my thing with CSG, I don't like how you have to pay for the subgrades. You know, the cards they look so bare and blank without the subgrades. It don't look good. You have
Well,
this
that's the
big old
thing. Beckett doesn't either without the subgrades, and people pay without it.
yeah, you can get it with or without the subgrades, but if you're gonna pay, you might as well get the subgrades.
I just don't understand. I mean, if the company offers subgrades, get them. It's the
Yeah.
easiest way of doing it.
What, because you have to pay $28 a card instead of $18 a card? What do you do? I'd rather have a card with subgrades instead of having a card with no subgrades and just a blank. I get it. PSA don't have subgrades. SGC don't have subgrades, but PSA's been around long. SGC's been around a while. They don't have no subgrades.
The pop reports hurting the hobby? No. The people hurting the hobby are the ones sending the stuff in, making it high pop reports. It's not, they're giving you a population report so you can use it for your knowledge. The us as the people sending it in are the ones that's hurting the hobby because of doing that and overflooding the market, along with the companies that are overproducing the cards. So you can't point the finger at the pop report. That's just a tool for you to use. You have to blame the companies producing the cards and the people grading them.
The more, like I've always said, the more of something makes it less worth it. Makes it less worth.
Oh yeah, I got you guys are gonna see some crazy videos coming out this week before I go pick my mom up. So there's going to be a video. It's going to talk about counterfeit cards that are being sold on eBay. And when I use the word counterfeit, I just want to make sure everybody understands this. A reprint is a licensed through the company that they reprinted that card. That means dates are changed on the back of it, showing when it was produced and everything else. It's officially licensed reprint. A counterfeit card is me taking the front and back of a card and saying, oh, here we go, here's the card, and putting it in something. I'm going to talk about that in a video. There's also a video on, if you guys know what Beckett Raw Review is, there is a company now doing something like that with some labeling. And I'm going to tell you what, I think it's easy to manipulate that, and I don't like it at all either. It's another person saying, here, let me pre-grade your card before you send it in to somebody else. Why would I spend the extra money to pre-grade it when I should be able to look at it myself and see if there's whiting on it and is it centered right? And then how hard is it to sit there and look for surface issues onto the card?
You
Yeah,
mean
like I
like
said, it's just a
grading?
gimmick. It's a big
You mean
gimmick
like
out
grading
there.
you mean like grading the grader?
Yeah, grading the grader.
Don't get it.
Yeah, that's what it is. It depends how people are going to sell it. And people are going to listen and be like, oh, wow, that's a great idea. I want to get this done. Because if they tell me it's only going to come back an 8 or a 9, I don't want to grade it. They'll save me, $100 in grading fees or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but you just wasted time and money. And if you do 50 cards like that, $30 a piece, you're going to lose money overall by doing that. What's up, Walkenbach? Yeah, I mean, the pop report's a great thing to have. It gives a lot of information. And the thing is, you just can't use one. You need to be able to go into and look at both companies, the PSA and Beckett. If you even want to go crazier, you can throw SGC on there. And then it really gives a big perspective because if you were either in breaks or you broke cases, you know how many of that rookie cards that were average per case. And then you start thinking, wow, this stuff was really mass produced. Yeah, I agree. Birds on the bat. You got to take your time. You got to learn how to do it. There's a lot of good videos out there that show it. Heck, I was doing it originally with the microscope. I would come on for, I don't know, 2, 3 hours looking at people's cards. And it gives you an idea what, I mean, not everybody has to have a microscope, but it gives you an idea what I was looking for going. I wouldn't send a PSA. That's just my thing because I look at the overall value, how much I'm going to spend, how much I've invested in a card, how much is my profit margin, and then you start thinking, how much is this mass produced? Yeah, I'll just send to SGC and get a quick flip to try to get my money back, and that's usually what was my mentality. Yeah, I'll start doing that again here, probably somewhere around Labor Day, because it might even be the weekend before. Because I have a funny feeling after Labor Day, we're probably going to see service open back up for PSA.
Like, okay, here's a good example. This will be in the auction. You looked at this card under the microscope. This has a little squiggly right here. I knew it did. We looked at it. It'll probably get a 7, probably a 6 from PSA.
Maybe.
SGC gave it an 8.5.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm only going to have in the auction next week starting at $1. If it was a higher grade, it wouldn't be $1. But with it being an 8.5, sure. But this would have been a lot lower with PSA, guaranteed.
The one thing you got to
So
remember, Johnny, is that their magnification they use, I believe, is 10 times. So when you're looking at 60, a lot of stuff that you're going to see, they're not going to see. I use it because my eyes get bad after a while looking at cards, and it just makes me look. And then I'll take it away, like, "Where's that at in this card?" And then I'll start playing around with it. If I could see it that way, it's done. And I don't play attention. I don't even give Jeff Wilson time of the day to watch his videos and who he's pumping and pimping and everything like that. Best eBay auction deal I've ever gotten. That's a hard one because I mean I could talk about cards that I've had for 10 to 15 years that have increased in value so much. I mean,
I
there were times before this whole crazy boom thing where I used to search players who they misspelled their names different ways, and I would pick stuff up at like 50, 60% cost or comps, whatever you want to call it.
I
So
think the
that's
best
a hard one.
mine, I can pinpoint mine. Mine was probably about it was literally a couple months before the boom. I ended up picking okay, they're raw autos, but they're PSA certified. A Montana, Ronnie Lott, and a Jerry Rice. All three of them together. Guy had them on eBay for $300 for the set. I took them. You know how much Joe Montana charges to just sign his rookie card now? $1,000. So to me, I mean, I thought that was a good one because I got all three of them for $300. Couldn't believe it.
Hey, what's going on, Tom? That's the one thing I try to stay away from buying on eBay is vintage unless it's graded. There's too many cards out there from the trimmed era that are floating and guys that were putting cards in the oven and baking them that they're counterfeiting. And when you're starting to look at pictures, you start questioning a lot. I mostly pick vintage up for only at shows and stuff to where I can see it. Unless it's been graded by somebody, then I'll actually probably get into it. Yeah, that's the best way to do it, honestly, is to sit there and get it. Well, see, when you're talking about 30 times too, you're going to see stuff they don't. And you have to start really guessing at it, with it and stuff like that. Are they going to see it? Are they going to miss it? Stuff like that there. Oh yeah, the best was back in the day. You could do that all across the board with guys that had names that people would misspell all the time. And Kobe Bryant was the biggest one out there people would misspell. Heck, I ended up hitting a Kobe Bryant once and somebody had it listed as LeBron Bryant. Don't know what was going through their head. It was an auto too. This was probably in 2018. Because I was looking up for dual stuff between them and it popped up. I'm like, what the heck is this? And I'm like, this can't be right. And I'm looking at the card and everything. And I'm like, this dude just completely messed up. We picked it up. They're cheap. I'll tell you the other good trick is if you can get to a card show early and you could go through the $1, $2, $5, and $10 boxes, and it's somebody who's older, not the newer guys, because they'll sift through their stuff before a show to make sure there's nothing in there that hasn't like all of a sudden gone crazy. But guys who just come in, they just bring massive bulk of this stuff to the shows. You could find some good deals onto that because before the surge on vintage, I used to go down into the shows and there was guys that like this box is 30-40% off sticker price. And I mean, I was picking up Pete Rose rookies, Carlton Fisk, stuff like that. And I mean, now granted, they're still sitting at PSA, but I was looking, I'm like, this is like going to be like a PSA 5, 5, 5. And I mean, stuff like that there. And I'm paying very, very little for this. But that was a great thing to go through, especially there were guys, and I missed the one. It was Topps finest Mike Trout rookies were in somebody's box at $10 a card. $10. I missed it. I couldn't believe it. That's why the one guy that sits up next to me all the time, he always asks me on this stuff because he tries to price out. He usually asks me like the older wax boxes, what they're going for and stuff. But you can really make a good killing on that stuff. But you got to find the older guys and you got to know them from the shows because these are the guys that'll go out and buy lots from people and they're flipping through looking for the high dollar value stuff. The rest of this stuff, they're just flipping through, putting it in there, and they'll overpass a lot of the newer stuff. And you could find some really killer deals in there. I mean, I remember finding the Optic Hollows, the LaMelo Ball and Tatum from Optic in boxes that were like $5 a pop and stuff.
Oh, Pete Rose.
I like my slabs. I just sold 3 cards on today. I think I listed 8. It all depends on the type of card you list on there and how your prices are, to be honest. And, I have cards that'll sit on there for months, and then all of a sudden somebody will buy it. It all depends. I think I have like 130 cards sold on that in the past year, but I don't post a lot either.
No, I just sold that Burrow Red Cracked Ice PSA 9 on there a couple days ago.
The other thing that I like doing is like, if my card's been sitting there a month, I'll delete it and I'll repost it just to get it fresher in the feed. I probably shouldn't say that. Now everybody's going to end up doing it, but I don't do it to all my cards. I do it to specific ones that return into being something hot. And people are just impatient scrolling like all the Zion rookies or something like that.
No, what Greeny's done to that site though is good. He's done a lot of good improvements on it. So it's a lot better navigating through it.
No, Raider Nation, I never had anybody veto price because half the time I put it up there, I'll be like, I got these 20 cards out of your $5 box. And they'll be like, just give me 80 for it. They won't even look. Don't even look. Don't even care. Now, the couple of the older guys that I deal with that I'll pick up the vintage and I'll go through there like 30 and 40% off sticker prices. They'll actually look at like, oh man, this shouldn't been in here. But you know what? You buy enough from me, just take it at that price. That's my fault. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, those young guys won't do it. They're like, oh, that wasn't supposed to be in there. Never mind. That one's not in there.
Oh yeah, I used to have people that ask me how much I want for my whole table, and they would look at me and be like, "Oh man, I need lower on it." I said, "Well, I'm not looking to sell it, so for you to make a profit." It was always crazy with that stuff. Now I've been the guy that had bought out tables before. I did it twice in Atlanta, and I did it once since I've been here. But normally you could get those guys because one, they don't have display cases, so they're not really big investors. They just have stuff laying out on their table. And it was in Atlanta, it was the easiest thing because those guys there, nobody was buying their stuff at all. And I'd just walk up like, how much you want for the whole thing? They're like, you want everything? So yeah, give me a price. And they would calculate all their stickers up and be like, well, this is what it's stickers at. I'll be like, I'll give you 75%. I got to do the time and effort to sell it. Honestly, you haven't made any sales today, but I'll take it all just for inventory. And a lot of times they would do it. Here, a lot of people will buy up tables. I mean, I always have people that ask me, and they're like, "You can't do any better on." I'm like, "Nope," because at any time frame, these cards in this case here, I could take them to Facebook or anywhere else, and I could get this value for it. And guys are always just looking to buy it out to make a huge profit because they got a pocket wad of cash onto them. Now, the one I bought, Kentucky, when was that? That would have been. Oh, I got here in 2013. So I want to say I was still in uniform. I bet you it was in 14 or so. And this is like still when Upper Deck was still producing the college stuff and like that. Like he had Larry Bird college auto, stuff like that there. And I think the price on his sticker on everything was around like 4,400. And I offered him $3,000 for his table and he took it. I went over my buddy Bryant, bought a box from him and started sticking all the cards into it and left. It was one of the very few times I brought money. And the only reason I did was I knew one of the vintage guys was going to be there. And when he show up, you're talking about, you could find Ty Cobbs, you could find those, what's that Babe Ruth, that Santarella or whatever it is version of the card of him. He would have all kind of stuff. And I was looking more for a couple of nice Nolan Ryan rookie cards. So I brought the money with me. And that's the only reason why I even bought it out then. Oh yeah, you're going to see a lot of the flippers will leave, and in 10 years they'll be back. That's just the way it is. It's just like clothing. Trends come and they go. I mean, think about it this way. If the country shuts down again, or certain areas shut down again, people are going to get bored at home. And then what are they going to do? They're going to be like, oh, I got these baseball cards. Let's do some buying and selling and trading. And all of a sudden, you got to remember, I got a PSA video coming out too. I was telling Joey some of the numbers. They're they're coming up on over, was it over, what did I tell you, 760,000 or something were graded so far by as of July 23rd or something. It's something crazy where they're averaging like 26,
26,
7,000 cards a
26,
day.
27,000 a day.
Yeah. It's up more than it was in June. So I could see them getting a big chunk of that stuff out of here. I mean, my stuff that, let me look at the complete through date on this. I want to say it's December. No, I take it back. A date that got entered 21 January into the system has gone into grading, and that's a value. Now I mailed that in October into them, beginning of it. So it just gives you an idea how far they really are ahead compared to that list. And that's if you submit your own, not the group people stuff.
I'm surprised PSA haven't said anything though after the national about anything, prices or what they're opening back up, what they're not. They haven't said nothing.
Michael, next Saturday we're doing the fixed pricing auction thing on here. Oh, just so everybody knows, CBC can't see the chat. He has no internet. And he's doing this all from his phone tonight, so he can't see the chat rolling. So I'm just hitting a lot of the questions up. So yeah, next Saturday I'll put a video out probably Thursday to remind everybody onto it because I won't be able to do a video Friday or Saturday till I get home. But it'll either start at 6 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to depend if this other person, if I could get them to come on and do it too. Oh yeah, it takes a lot of time going through those boxes. I used to bring a chair with me and just plop right down. Well, not a chair, you know, them fishing stools that like they collapse and it just has that fabric right here. I used to bring that all the time, just plop right down. The guys used to laugh at me because I got tired of standing as somebody all their boxes for an hour and a half, bending over. It just would kill my back. Some of the times the dealers just tell me to come behind the table too, if they knew me. And I would just start flipping through cards, grabbing a stack out, flipping through what I wanted. Yes, he is. He is. They're just talking about you. That you can't read the chat. All right, Johnny, take care. Appreciate you stopping in tonight. I used to hate that. I mean, I ran some auctions that end tomorrow afternoon on eBay just to cover my NT splurge that I didn't hit nothing but a base card in.
Yeah, you talked yourself into that one.
Yeah, I did. I should. If I'd have seen this stinking Heat's name, man, I still kick myself for it. Yeah, I was like, I bet you have Precious, dude. That's probably the one that's in here too. It won't be Nowara. But I talked myself in because I was like, well, you get a vet and Giannis or Nowara, it's a good chance on to. And I can't remember. I think I got Chris Middleton base out 99 or no, Drew Holiday or somebody out 99.
You got Drew Holiday. Yeah, but like you told me, you're like, you did that first case, you might as well get that second case. Because if that one you get it's in that second one, you're gonna kick yourself. So I ended up buying the wrappers in both cases and didn't get jack. Then we tried to get in that filler. Didn't get that filler, which I was surprised we didn't get in that.
Yeah. What are you guys doing? I don't even own a Deshaun Watson card anymore. I'm not
Deshaun
doing
Watson?
anything. Yeah. I don't own anything, nor do I tend to buying anything of his.
No. Honestly, if you have Deshaun Watson, it's going to be hard to move. But if you want Deshaun Watson, it's going to be easy to pick up. That's the way I look at it. But me, I ain't touching any of it.
All right, Michael. We'll see you next Saturday. That's your wheels.
Oh, what's up, Wilson? No, I can't. I can't touch anything Deshaun Watson.
Oh man, I don't even have any predictions for football this year. If I was going to pick anything, I would say Tom Brady's going to win the championship because that's probably your biggest bet right there of somebody being for sure with how many Super Bowl appearances and wins he has. Um, Rookie of the year, I don't know. I if these young quarterbacks, I don't think Zach Wilson's going to have a phenomenal year because he's on the Jets. I don't see Lawrence doing anything spectacular. The Jags, it'll probably be for once, it might be a running back that actually wins Rookie of the Year because I don't see Fields doing it. I mean, if Lance and Mac Jones actually play this year, possibility one of them. I mean, Mac Jones looked good, but I don't know for dark horses in NFL for investment. Ooh, that's a hard one this year.
I'm gonna say non-quarterback. I'm gonna say Trey Sermon, or I'm gonna say maybe Jamar Chase with the Bengals. I'll take those two. Those have been Jamar Chase, the wide receiver. Quarterback, like it's either going to be Lawrence or Wilson because they're going to be starting. Lance ain't going to start unless Garoppolo gets hurt, which is a possibility. Fields is behind Dalton and Foles. Matt Jones is behind Cam Newton. So
I think Mac Jones will be starting this year after a few games.
I don't know, maybe, but he could be. But Cam Newton knows he's breathing down his neck. He even said he knows he is.
I don't know. My biggest thing is if you look at a Chargers schedule, now Herbert did lose his tight end. They really didn't do much in free agency or draft wise.
Nope.
If he can come out there and sling that ball very well for their first 5 games, his stuff's going to go up. People will start talking Herbert again. Same with Burrow. Burrow got injured last year. If he goes out there and starts slinging it, I think those are probably the two safest bets for pickups because I think they're both decently priced right now. Burrow, I think, is a little bit undervalued, but his stuff started picking up.
Burrow's got three good receivers. He'll be throwing to T. Higgins, who who had a good thing going last year before he got hurt. Tyler Boyd, and then Jamar Chase. I mean, yeah, AJ Green left, but Jamar Chase was his teammate from LSU, so he was extremely happy to have. He basically made them draft him, so he'll have those three. Joe Mixon can stay healthy. Running back, Bengals got a good little offense. Tight end, kind of suspect. Chargers, you still got Mike Williams, you still got Keenan Allen, you still got Austin Eckler, you still got Josh Kelly. But yeah, they did lose their tight end, so that doesn't help.
Well, I can tell you the other person that'll get a bump in price is going to be Ben Roethlisberger. We just talked about this, and he could pass 2 people on the most yardage. Marino, he's real close to, and Rivers, I think he needs like 3,100 yards to do it this year. If he stays healthy all year, he has a chance of doing it. It's just going to push his card value up, regardless if they make playoffs or anything like that. It just because he just keeps advancing with the records. He already holds a lot with Pittsburgh to begin with. Um, Najee Harris has a chance at running back. The catch is going to be with him is if they're going to actually use him properly. Now, the guy has good hands and ball control. I will say that. Like, he does not fumble. Now, NFL compared to college is going to be different, too, the way the guys hit and strip as well. I think he secures the ball a lot better. I don't think he's as versatile as Le'Veon Bell to where he could catch a pass and take off like Bell did, but it is a possibility. I mean, if they use him right, but you're looking at an offensive line that's been rebuilt this year, and I don't know. I'm actually kind of worried on that.
There's 3 quarterbacks that I'm kind of interested, and Kyler Murray needs to show up this year with all that talent. He needs to show up. I think Daniel Jones is quietly interesting. He's got all his receivers, Shepard. He's got Slayton, Ingram is tight end. Saquon Barkley will be back. I'm interested in how Daniel Jones is going to do. And then I am kind of interested on how I was just thinking about him. Dang it. I can't remember who I was thinking of. There was two of them. Those two for sure. I was kind of interested in because I think Kyler needs to show up this year for sure. Who was that other quarterback I was thinking now? Oh, Baker Mayfield. He did do good last year. I hope he takes the next step forward. I like Baker, Daniel Jones. You can get on the cheap, Kyler Murray, but those are kind of ones I'm kind of looking at going. Possibly they take the next step.
Daniel Jones is a safe bet depending on how Barkley comes back. Because if they have him in an offense where you got to worry about running and everything, it takes pressure off of Jones in the line. That's the thing that sucked for him last year because of Barkley going out.
Yep.
No, I did not get any Field of Dream game cards at all. I just don't buy that stuff at all, to be honest.
Like I said,
I
Kyler.
think it is Big Ben's last year. I don't think they can afford to keep him another year. The Bills, I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it with the contract they handed Josh Allen. Nothing against him or nothing like that, but would it come out to like 50 million a year or 40 million or something?
Yeah, but a lot of the players besides him are on their rookie deals still. Besides him and Stephon Diggs are the only two guys in that offense who are on veteran veteran contracts because the running backs, they're all on rookie deals. Their wide receiver, Gabriel Davis, and the other one, they're all on rookie deals. So they got a lot of friendly rookie deals, but sooner or later they're going to go out. But when those contracts go, just draft new rookies is what they're probably going to end up doing.
I don't know how you afford to pay a quarterback that much money, and then you got to set a defense, and then you need a line for him. Wide receivers and running backs, like I said, are a dime a dozen. You can always get them through drafts, and then when their rookie contract's up, dump them anyhow. That's fine. But when you start talking, you dump I don't know what 40 million is at the cap. What is that, about a fifth? Because it's usually around 200 million.
I thought they were around 185 on the.
It might be. I don't know. I'm just going to use 200 million. You're talking a 50-year thing has gone to that. I mean, it's good to have a good quarterback and stuff. I mean, I probably wouldn't pay a rookie quarterback that kind of money. They're going to say, "Oh, we signed him for like 8 years or 5 years at this amount or 4 years, and the cap's going to go up." You hope the cap's going to go up.
Yeah, well, good thing there's a salary cap on the rookies.
Oh yeah, Cousins is still in Minnesota. Yep, good old Kirk Cousins.
Here's a safe bet, and you'll win every time. Anytime Kirk Cousins has to play on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, they're gonna lose. There's your sure bet right there. He has a horrible record on Monday and Sunday nights.
And that's a possibility. Josh Allen has a down year compared to last year too.
They didn't lose anybody though. They didn't lose anybody.
Don't matter. If other teams got strength there, picked up and improved, where the Bills really didn't much.
I wonder how the Foreskins are going to do with old Fitzpatrick.
There is no team named that. It's called the NFL team.
They're called the Foreskins.
No, they're not. Listen here, Gladiator. Or Guardian, whatever the heck they named themselves.
Well, you said not the Foreskins.
Nah. They ain't gonna do nothing either. Those guys, they're done. They must just go in a rebuild for 3 years. Consider them a high school football team out there.
Which is crazy because they got a lot of good talent in that team. Antonio Gibson's a good running back. I mean, McLaurin's a good receiver.
They went down when they traded Champ Bailey for Portis. That was their downfall after that. They never did well.
They need a quarterback. Logan Thomas, the tight end, is actually interesting this year. I like him for Washington. He was pretty good last year. I mean, I think Washington's going to be in the bottom of it, so I'm sure they'll probably have they'll be picking a quarterback for next year. If Deshaun Watson don't play, Texans will probably have the number 1 pick. The Saints are going to be interesting with no Drew Brees for the first time. So I don't know if it's going to be Winston or Taysom Hill. A lot of interesting stuff going on this year.
I just posted this channel in the comments. Oh no, he can't see a chat. I've been talking a lot of the comments.
Yeah, sorry guys, I can't. But I don't know. I know this is Aaron Rodgers last year. And I think it's Devontae Adams last year there also. Devontae Adams has already hinted that he wants to go to the Raiders so he can play with his teammate Derek Carr. So the Packers are going to be in rebuild mode next year, definitely. They're going to lose their quarterback and their receiver. Unless they give the keys to the kingdom to Jordan Love, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I just sit there thinking about, look at the basketball players, what they were getting paid. I mean, we started doing the math on some dudes are getting paid was like half or 300 and some thousand a game out, and that's just mad.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other teams.
What's up, A Surfer?
Trying to think if there's any other teams that are going to be interesting in football. There's a lot of interesting teams, a lot of interesting stories that could happen. I don't know how the Ravens are going to do this year.
Hey, it's just like the movie. Any given Sunday, anybody can come out there and impress. The team could get a rhythm and figure it all out, and you're like, they don't have stud players, and they can do it.
Yeah. The Lions are going to be, I don't think the Lions are going to go anywhere. They lost everybody.
Oh, for everybody in here, I'll probably be live tomorrow to do the giveaway. I'm guessing probably 6 p.m. Eastern, as long as I double check the list, how long that's going to take. And then I'll just pop in live. I'll sit for a few and then run it live.
And I know one team that's getting too much hype, and I don't see it, is the Rams, because everyone's happy they got Stafford. And I'm like, you know what? Stafford's fragile. He gets hit one time, they're done. They already lost their running back for the year. So I'm not betting nothing on the Rams.
Sam Darnold.
Panthers, I don't know. He could go there and do better because the Jets were horrible.
He can't do no worse, really, to be honest, offhand. I mean, I guess he could. But you do have McCaffrey, which will help him out, taking some of the pressure off. He does have some good young wide receivers still there.
He got DJ Moore, but Curtis Samuel's gone.
Well, he still has more, and there's somebody else there. Who was that rookie they had? James Robinson?
No, that was Jacksonville. He was running back.
Jacksonville.
They had
somebody else there too.
No, their rookie last year standout was Jeremy Chin, who's a defensive player.
I can't remember who the other dude is now.
But they got DJ Moore and they got McCaffrey. You know, McCaffrey stays healthy. That helps. I don't even know who their tight end is.
Oh, yeah, what a week. Let's see here. Roster.
I'm not even sure who the Panthers tight end is. Trying to think who the other.
Oh, they have Robbie Anderson there.
Oh, Robbie Anderson. That's right. Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson. That's what I was trying to think of. Yep, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, and then they got I guess he's gone too. There was another one at one time in there. Tight end. I don't even know their tight ends are on this thing.
And Dale, if you're in here, I don't know about your Broncos. I don't know what they're doing with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. I have no idea what they're doing.
He hasn't been in here. Unless he just popped in and I missed him.
You put all your eggs in one basket with Melvin Gordon staying healthy. Good luck with that because Philip Lindsay's gone. Cortland Sutton and Hamler and Judy.
To build a YouTube community, you just got to make a channel. You got to get all the little crazy pictures and learn how to edit videos and all that stuff. Go live. You know, I can tell you when I first started, see, my channel started as a breaking channel. So a lot of my viewers were all people that bought into my breaks. After that, it was a real grind. I mean, you have to start doing videos. You got to learn what SEO is. So stuff gets publicized higher. It just takes time. And a lot of times going to other people's chats and stuff like that too helps because they start realizing the name and stuff.
I don't look at me. I'm still sitting at 297 since February.
If my Dolphins do not go to the Super Bowl and win, the Browns will. My bet's on the Bucks. I never count Tom Brady out anymore.
No, you can't. Everybody came back too, and they're stacked. Gronk came back. Antonio Brown came back. Evans, Godwin, Fournette. I mean, they're stacked. All their defense is back. They're stacked. So I ain't putting nothing past them. I can see a repeat of the Super Bowl. It'll probably be by the Bucks and Chiefs again. Because you can't count out Mahomes. You can't count out Brady. Those are the two ones you really can't. And then Aaron Rodgers, maybe the Packers if they get together this year.
Oh, you're up to 298 subs, they said.
Thank you.
Actually, SPF just sub too. You might be at 299.
Thank you.
One more to 300 for you. Yeah, with the YouTube thing, it's just one of those things. People use the word collaborate a lot, stuff like that there. I mean, if you could sit there and think of a video that hasn't been done or something that would draw attention to people. I mean, granted, I'm just using this for an example. If you said you were opening up like I don't know, let me think of something like an 86 Fleer basketball box or something, people will tune in just because it's a rare thing to see. Stuff like that there, or like somebody said, I think it was about buying a set of cards and stuff and showing them. People find stuff like that interesting. But once you did something like that to where the algorithm in YouTube is spinning, it just all starts coming together. But it's a grind. It really is. I mean, you gotta do what Sasha T did too. Well, except for that one video, but where he started off, let me rephrase that. Not what he's doing now. What he started off was a group of three of them, and they used to do like kind of like a podcast thing. And there was a lot of good information that was floating around there by the other two guys. I ain't gonna lie. With their investments and who they're picking up. A lot of times those guys wouldn't say nothing about it. They're like, I don't want to talk about it until after I get enough of what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was a smart thing, but they would talk different aspects of the hobby overall, what each person was seeing. And it was a really good piece for a while.
I mean, put it this way: there's different avenues for YouTube. If you're looking to be YouTube famous, it's gonna take a grind. It's a grind. Like me, I just come on here for fun. There is no massive grinding on here. I'm just having fun.
You're at 299 now.
Thank you.
Uno more.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm not trying to be YouTube famous. I'm just here having fun. I mean,
Yeah, that's the thing is some people are in it for they want to be famous on here and have 1 million plus views a month.
I don't.
Start a Beanie Baby channel. Oh my gosh.
Oh no. You want to start a Pog channel too? While you're at it, go Beanie Babies and Pogs. Name your channel Beanie Pogs.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like Tom was saying, getting other people's chats to where people know you and stuff like that there. And then even if they see the people doing like dual streams, like how this is and stuff like that there, and bringing other people in, you could always, if you put a lot of input into a channel during their live sessions or questions or whatever, they notice that, and you could hit them up like, hey, how do I get about coming on there? I'd be interested in doing it. And just, well, they just said you just hit 300 now.
Hey, thanks. But yeah, don't. But here's another thing. It's okay to go on other people's channels and everything like that, but you kind of got to pick your poison on. You can't just go on everyone's channel because then it just no.
No, if you start just bouncing on everybody's channels, it's very time consuming. And a lot of times you'll get, I don't want to say the wrong crowd.
You'll get lumped into a certain crowd if you do. That's the problem.
Yeah, and that's why I guess that's a better way of saying it. I mean, that there is just one of those things. I mean, it's best if you just want to, I use it more of a venting service than anything about stuff I see. And I really do. I mean, if you think about some of my videos talking about bad breakers and all this stuff, it's information nobody would talk about.
Yeah.
It would be to certain groups and stuff of people. And my thing was, I was getting so many emails and I was being very repetitious in answering the same exact thing. And I was like, I'm just going to do videos on this because so many people are asking the same question. I started trying to do it as a Q&A. And I was like, I'm just going to do specific videos onto it. And, people like that mostly overall because it's knowledge out there. And that's what you need now because you brought in what we call the flippers, investors, and all this stuff. And if you're in it for a pure hobby collecting thing and you also maybe mix it up and stuff, you need the knowledge. Because for me, if I was using my own paycheck to buy myself cards, okay, and I'm talking about like I say I wanted to collect, I don't know, let me think, LeBron James, we'll use that, or Curry, or I'm trying to think of some of the other ones, Gretzky. There's a lot of those cards that are counterfeit or trimmed, and you go out there and you're like, oh, it's going slab by PSA, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh man, they trimmed this and they got through, and I spent all this money. It makes you feel sick in your stomach, and you have so many mixed emotions where you want to quit the hobby, break the card in half, and all this other stuff. You get frustrated. And a lot of people just didn't know that kind of thing. So Neo, oh wait.
But
Neo
not
is the
just
worst. He jumps in every oh you guys told me who Neo was before. I can't remember who's Neo.
but not just that. You'll get in other people's channels and you'll kind of see what they're about, and you'll kind of see, you're like, you know what? You'll start to see, depending on what you're wanting to learn or what you're wanting to do. You just trust me. I used to be in a bunch of people's chats, and I stopped this because I'm just like, this isn't what I'm looking for. When you find something you're looking for, you'll subscribe, you'll pay attention, you'll watch. After a while, you're just kind of like, I don't like what this guy is doing. No.
And that's the thing is, I mean, no, for me, a lot of people don't like watching people open up boxes. Now, I stopped with a lot of the boxes opening up on a channel. I'll post it now if it's some good box to see. Just know that's probably not the only box I've opened recently is that one box and I hit something big. Because it's kind of boring. You watch a box, say, of Bowman being opened or something, it takes a while and there's nothing in it. Now, if I bought an expensive box, whether it was good or bad, like NT Definitive or a case of Dynasty, I'd still post a video because it's something cool and different to see. But I'm not going to post me open a box of Top Series 1 and there's nothing in but base cards and nothing
No.
good. It doesn't make something good worthy of somebody spending their time to watch it.
No, I'll record
Northeast
a video.
Ohio cards. Okay. I couldn't remember. I know everybody was talking about them before. I just never seen them or talked to them, and I've never seen the videos.
No, I
Why we
will.
don't say bro 1,000 times? Bro. Hey, bro. That's one of the most loosest terms thrown out there. bro, brother, all that stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
man, I feel like I'm in a fraternity. Everybody's calling each other brother.
No, I'll still record boxes that I open, and then if I don't think it was good, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna post that one. Wasn't good.
Yeah, it makes sense because, like I said, everybody's posting, say, on a release day, their box openings, and it gets boring.
Hmm.
Now, if you're paying some premium money, and I'm even throwing like select being garbage. Now, I did that one live just because I was bored that night when we went live. What was it, like 2 Fridays ago? And luckily, I pulled an Edwards RPA because
Yeah, you hit the
otherwise,
RPA.
yeah, I mean, but I just don't see that being entertaining. Now, I like watching people opening up NT, flawless, definitive stuff like that there because it's a quick thing. There might be
I'll be right
five
back, guys.
or eight cards per box. It's pretty cool. The handshake hug and another dead giveaway. Yeah, I got some different stuff coming out this week, SPF. Like I was saying, there's one about counterfeit cards. One just sold on eBay. Somebody emailed me about it. Um, and I got to watch how much I go into it because I've actually turned it in. So we'll just leave it at that. Uh, we're going to hit some PSA stuff for the month of July. And there's a new raw card review thing I want to talk about that I don't like either. And I think I might even talk about that scorecard or whatever it is too. But I pretty much beat it pretty much to death just in this video on it. I've never even seen this guy. Holy cow. I actually own some comics, but I was buying stuff for nostalgic things like the He-Man stuff and stuff like that there, but I don't know comics at all. I just know they're a pain to grade. Man, I'm trying to remember who the guy, the comic book store on The Simpson is. I know every time I think of comic books, I'm thinking about oh, what was that show with the three nerds and Penny in it?
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, every time that's why I keep thinking about the comic book dude and the Big Bang Theory when they're saying this. That's what I'm
Mm,
thinking about. I don't even know what the guy looks like.
I do. I used to love that show.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about it. You can ask me about Pokemon. I know nothing about except for saying Charizard and Pikachu. I don't know the
Yeah.
difference between a VMAX and whatever else there is out there. I try to. I mean, every time I open something up, I gotta look it all up online, which takes me forever because I'm like, is this worth
Yeah.
anything? I don't even
Yeah.
know.
That's how I am with UFC and soccer. Anytime I open in the UFC or soccer, I'm like, man, I don't know nothing. Do I have to look every dang card up. I actually hit something in a soccer, so I should be getting that back next week.
All right, Alejandro. See you next Saturday. Oh yeah, they're still making videos about the Nationals. I just happened to go through some of my
Oh,
subscriptions days, see what was up, and I'm like, my gosh, we're still doing day one videos at the National, and I'm like, or they're just it's content overload on that stuff. You know, if I went to the National, this is no joke. My video probably would have been like me talking with somebody and sitting down for 10, 15, 20 minutes, good card talk. Or I'd be like, hey guys, end of day, end of my now. I wouldn't even do end of day one, day two recaps of what I bought or sold. I would do it all at the end, be like, hey guys, I sold these cards here and I picked this stuff up. It's just content overload. I mean, unless you're really going out there and like the one day you pick a Mickey Mantle card rookie up, then you get a Jordan Auto day two and stuff like that. That's like, wow, this is really cool. But I can understand people like Card Collector too doing his stuff the way he does because he's involved with the National holding trade night. The setup for it to show people how much time and effort goes into it and stuff like I could see him like I said, I could see Card Collector 2 doing what he does. It makes sense. It does. But some of this stuff where people are like, oh, I'll show you in my next video what I picked up day one. Now we're on day five, and I still don't know what the heck you picked up day one.
If I
Or they'll
went to the
come out there and
national,
be like, it was like a $50 freaking basketball card or somebody they collected. I'm like, that was your big suspense. I was like
yeah.
waiting for like something different, or like I picked a LeBron Topps PSA 8 rookie card up, and I'm like, all that for that?
See me if I would. I'm like, all right, I'm on the hunt for this. I'll let you guys know if I get it later on today. Make a small little short or something, and then post it. What I'm like, have a goal of what I'm going for that day, or trade night. I would definitely do a video for trade night. That would be interesting.
Well, see, what I like doing at the shows, and that's why I just saying I bought the GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
So if I walk away from my table, that camera's still rolling. One, it's for my security, okay? The other part is if somebody brought some cool cards around that I wanted to show that came by my table that you normally don't see, I would show that as part of the show as well,
Mm-hmm.
too. And a lot of times the guys that are there are older and they don't do social media. And I don't mind taking some pictures of their stuff because say all of a sudden you see something you want, you're like, man, is that guy going to be back next show? Because I want that card. I'm like, yeah, he takes PayPal. I know he has it. So I can go to the shows like, hey, he's here, man. Send the PayPal, pick it up, and I'll send your next package or send me X amount plus if you want insurance for shipping. And stuff like that there is good because you start working in different areas where people might not be able to get that card. They can't take time off to go to a show, whatever it may be. Um, but yeah,
Just the whole walking around videos. I don't get it. I don't care. I don't care that you're walking around. You see all these stuff. I don't care about that. I
what
want
I
to
don't
know.
like is them walking around and hitting the fast forward button, and I'm like sitting there thinking I'm having a seizure on my screen and stuff because it's going. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that dude's bobbing around. Or they'll sit there and be like shaking the camera trying to show you a freaking like Jason Tatum optic hollow. And I'm like, those are a dime a dozen. Show me stuff that I can't normally see that I'll be like, wow, that's really cool. Stuff like that.
Show me a Thurman Munson PSA 9 rookie or something, or something that's hard. Show me something like that, or show me your deals that you're making, or show me what your goal is for that day of what you're trying to look for or achieve or get. Like, hey, today, guys, I'm trying to get a Magic Johnson Larry Bird rookie in a PSA 910. I know it's going to be a tough task, but that's what I want to get, or something in that aspect. Don't be like, "Oh, I'm just going to go take my camera and go to this table and see what's on their table. Oh, go to this one, look at this table. Go to this one, look at their table. Go to this one, look at this." No, I don't care. I care about what deals that you're making and what's being made deals, what deals are being made, what you're making on deals, and the trade night, what people are looking for on the trade night. That's interesting to me.
I'm going to get to the chat in 1 second here. Here's my other thing I don't like about doing videos of the deals going down. One, people know if you disclose what you comped at and got a card for. The second one is you make yourself a target now. It shows to be robbed and stuff like that, depending on where you're going. Like, wasn't that dude in the YouTube video was carrying around 22 Michael Jordan autographs with him at the Dallas show? That's not what I want to do. If I'm going to do stuff like that, I would probably do. I don't even know, even if I sold a Jordan Auto, if I would even make it public to everybody know that I sold a Jordan Auto for X amount of money.
No, I
Even if I
wouldn't.
went through golden auctions, I would make sure nobody knew
No,
that was me, except for if they
I.
knew I had the card.
Excuse me. No, I wouldn't disclose any money. Just be like, yeah, I worked a deal out. I worked out a deal for this, or I worked out a deal for that, or I traded up for this, or stuff like that. But I wouldn't put no dollar amounts on there. At the end of the day, be like, all right, guys, I was able to, trade up for something that I was wanting, or I worked out a deal. I had these cards, he had these cards, and we worked out a deal. This is what the deal was. But don't disclose any, like, okay, I'm trading you these 4 cards, you're trading me these 4 cards, but I'm adding in like $300 or 500 on
Or
top
they're
of it or
throwing the
something.
stacks of money out there
Yeah.
out of their bag. Because next thing you know,
No.
you're like, oh, he's at a show. He has stacks of money in that
Uh-huh.
bag.
Uh-huh.
And see, that's
Oh,
the one thing oh, there's Dale. Dale was here. What's up, Dale?
hey Dale, what's up?
Yeah, he
But
must
no,
be
we
okay. Let's see. Let me get to this chat here because they're starting to
but
scroll on me. Joey, nobody wants to watch you search for your man crush on Trevor Lawrence cards. That's 100% correct.
that's fine
Nobody
because I
wants to
will
see
not be
that.
looking for him anyways.
Nobody wants to see that.
That's fine.
That's
I
for
wouldn't be
you and
looking
your
for it
private
anyways.
YouTube channel.
And let me guess, that was Todd.
Who?
Todd.
No, it was Troy.
Oh, okay.
One
Damn,
more
it was
thing
I was close.
at SPF, I used to like Reddit for doing stuff like that, but it is annoying seeing all that stuff out every box. And you're like, ugh, yuck. Yeah, I stopped going on Reddit a lot. Thanks, Sharon. Yeah, we try to be pretty much upfront onto everything with our viewpoints. Patch cards are the new push by these content creators. Yeah, they always have been. They always have. It's just getting worse because now the next thing that they want to do for content's about patches. Keep your prospecting secrets to yourself. Hey, you know what? I think prospecting should be kept to yourself. It's cool if you're going to do it amongst friends in a group chat, but if you're going to post it on YouTube, to me, you've already bought what you wanted and you're trying to
Yep.
push the value up in the cards, not going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's been in and out of the stream tonight, he said.
Who?
Dale.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. You got an Earl Campbell. That's awesome. Rookie for $17. Not bad.
No, that's not bad. Nice. Mr. Tree Trunk himself. Thunder Thighs.
No, and see, the thing is, I don't mind saying if I picked a card up cheap for like $20, it's a $50 card. But where my biggest issue is like, I don't mind saying that a long time ago I traded Josh Allen PSA 10 contenders rookie auto for that Luca in-flight rookie auto green out of 35, and I think it was like 200, 300 in cash, something like that. I forget what it was, because both of us know what the money is now. But a lot of these guys, they're trying to get a card this week and flip it next week is where the issue is, because now I know you got that card way under comps and you're trying to get what? How much out of me? No, ain't happening. Now, if you had that card for 5, 6 months, the dude gets hot. That's I got it. That's a totally different thing onto it. Oh, the Tide getting busted at the National, yeah. Hey, Cincinnati Sports Cards. I think I know he has his own Facebook group. The guy who got arrested in Cincinnati in the police sting is charged with that. He said grand theft, but I think it's just theft. I don't know. And whatever the state law is for the amount that card was.
Yeah.
And the card has been returned to the owner. He posted in the video the other day, and I put it to the top so everybody could see. But that was good news. Good news that the guy did get his card back, and that the guy is being charged. Brian something. I can't remember his last name, but it's all through the news now, too. Yeah, I try not to give a lot out with what I'm picking up. I used to always show it, and then I started seeing people buying the stuff, and it wasn't so much that I didn't care they were buying it because I already bought some of it, but if it would lose value, so then where I started feeling bad because I don't know somebody's income level. I don't know how much they're allotted to spend if they went over budget onto it. I don't forbid that they refinanced the house to buy cards or something like that. I know somebody did it. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. I know somebody did it. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. But I would feel bad that, I went out and spent $500 and I might say on cards. This is before or even a big part of the surge, where it was just bits and pieces at first. And say they dropped to $200, but somebody else like, oh man, he's doing this. I'm going to dump $5,000 in. Now all of a sudden they're worth 1,000. Yeah, I feel bad. That's why I try not to.
Yeah, but here's the thing though: if they're gonna do what you say, then that's on them for following you. No one said to follow what you're buying. No one said, hey, this is. You didn't say, hey, this is what I'm picking up. You guys should go out and get it. That didn't come out your mouth. You're just saying this is what I picked up. If you're saying,
Yeah, I
oh,
don't say it's a good investment or nothing
that's
like
what I'm
that.
saying. You're not giving investment ideas, or you're not giving investment. You're not pointing people in the direction. You're like, hey, this is what I picked up. So be it. This is what you picked up. Doesn't necessarily mean you should go out and get it.
What's
Get
the
what you
same
want.
thing is that if I say I just made bank off of this because I invested in this player, I'm not telling you the other six players I didn't make bank in either.
Mm-hmm.
So you always got to remember if I say something like, I invested and I made some good money, but there's also probably a good bit that I haven't made money on, Kristen
Yep.
Pache. Um,
Yeah. Cameron Johnson.
any current NBA or NFL old or new price. Dan, the only product I would even buy is hobby only. I will not buy anything that has a retail side to it, especially with the word Panini in front of it. Tops, I mean,
The
they
stuff the
do it
top the
different, especially with Topps Chrome and Bowman products, to where they make their autos and refractors a little bit different. And there's a lot of stuff that's hobby exclusive. That's a little bit different on this side of the house. But as far as a Panini product, if it's not a hobby only, I stay clear from it anymore
well,
now.
tops, in other words, they're bigger products as hobby only, anyways. Like Tops Chrome and Bowman Chrome and stuff like that. Yeah, you can get those, but
Well, Bowman
you can't.
Draft's hobby only too.
Yeah, but no,
Did they come out with
no.
retail
Oh
now?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't see
Bowman
retail on
Draft is hobby.
draft.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But like Bowman Sapphire, Top Sapphire, that stuff you can't get. You can't get
That's a
icons,
Topps website exclusive only. That's a
but you
big
can't get
difference.
icons. You can't get luminaries. You can't get museum. You can't get any of that stuff. You can't get Inception. You can't get none of that stuff retail. That's all hobby only. Panini, they just ah sneeze.
Oh, I was like,
If
what are
I
you
put this
doing
away.
over there? But yeah,
Ah,
no, you just got to be careful with, a lot of stuff that you're buying. I'm just reading the chat onto it. Like I said, a lot of people pump the cards after they already bought it. And then I started looking at what I was buying and showing like, oh, I picked this stuff up and stuff like that there. And I'm like, I started getting a couple emails. People, I just picked these two cards up with them. I'm like, I wasn't invested in that, dude. I actually won that card or whatever it
yeah.
is, or I got out of a break. I mean, there's very few cards I buy outright. Now, I usually tell somebody I bought outright, like that Crosby Black Diamond rookie. I bought it outright, but that's something I wanted for PC purpose. Unless for some reason it goes up to some stupid price of like $10,000 card, and all of a sudden now I made like $9,300 on it, I'd probably be like, hey, I'd be a fool not to take the money on it. Just like I
Here,
was talking to my distributor because it was in 2000, either late 15 or 16. I wanted to buy a Sidney Crosby SPA Authentic rookie PSA 10. I can't remember if it was 14 or 1600 ish, but I was doing a lot of small sales on eBay and I let it tally up and I tried to buy something nice. Usually it was reserved for Jordan stuff, Clemente, Crosby, stuff like that there. And I won, I just couldn't push the button. And the girl I was dating actually pushed the button on it, clicked and bought it. And I paid for it. But now the people are selling the card for $20,000. But that was PC for me. Now, trust me, I didn't know it was up to $20,000 till we talked. The last I saw was around 10. And I'm like, man, that's a huge investment. Should I get rid of it or not? And I'm like, I wanted it. I got very little into it. I'll just keep it.
yeah. See, here's the last PC thing I bought. I bought me a Jim Tomei printing plate 101 because Jim Tomei's my PC. This is the last PC thing I bought. I need to send it to you for PSA. But like I'm saying, I'm not. That's my PC. I find I try to find Jim Tomei 101s at a fairly good price. That's what I PC. You have that Ginter super factor there. I'll have this printing plate there eventually for PSA.
I wouldn't grade a printing plate.
Why is that?
It's a printing plate.
It's a 101 and it's a PC.
I still wouldn't spend the money on a printing plate.
But the printing plate's also a mini.
3 or 4.
Yeah, it's a mini though. It's not a
Still a printing plate regardless.
so.
That's the one thing I would never grade as a printing plate. And I pretty much will say I'll grade any 101 to sell it on my slabs just so I can have the opportunity to sell it if I have very little in it. But I would never grade a printing plate. Never,
No,
ever,
this
ever.
is for me. This is my PC. It's not going to be sold. This is just for my personal collection.
I got printing plates of PC guys. I do. I would never grade them. It's just, to me, I'll take the money and divert it elsewhere, but that's on to you. What's up, Todd? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Well, that one right there would go in a value anyway, so it wouldn't cost me much to get done.
See, I got dude miners that I've been looking up, and I've been picking up his cards, and I haven't said a word to nobody who it is. Nobody probably wouldn't even be able to guess who it was. Don't start guessing or nothing now, but just somebody that, I looked at, and I was like, he's doing well in the minors. Could he come up and do well? Probably. Are the color first Bowmans very, very reasonable right now? They are. Especially if I could pick a 10 up or a quad 9.5 or better.
I think I know who you're talking about.
No, you don't.
Maybe I do.
I bet you don't. Say it. I'll tell you.
Griffin Conine.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I got somebody nobody would think of. I'll tell you, if you'd have guessed that, I said yes or no. Because if you'd have guessed that, I'd already put it on eBay because now everybody's going to go buy them. I mean, I'd be the thing. Everybody's like, oh, they're going after them. But no. Honestly, the guy, I think the only person that knows is Jacob because he started picking them up too. And Jacob, if you're in the chat, you better not say the name. Bad monster. No, I don't do Wander Franco at all. He came out way too high. I mean, if I'd have pulled an auto of him and graded it, yeah, I probably would hold it till he got called up. Heck, if I had two of them, I probably would have sold one and call up and held the other one just because I knew it already got paid for.
Yeah, I wasn't sold on Wander Franco.
This guy here, nobody was out after. He was not one of the big players on a team. Like, he was not a chase player, I can tell you that. Heck, I think the team sold very cheaply, too. They just said the guy was doing well. I think he's in AA now. But just doing well in AA don't mean nothing. No, I do have some Julios. You know what's funny? I did a mixer of Bowman and Bowman Jumbo. And the one team that did not sell had Julio Rodriguez, and I was just going to take the team, and somebody finally took it, right? I pulled 2 true blue, one out of hobby, one out of jumbo. He sold them both raw for like $350, $400. I'm like, dude, I just grade them and hold them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it cost him like $120 for the team. I would have gambled that $120.
Oh,
because now you're talking way crazy prices, especially if those with a 10 or quad 9.5. Woo-wee.
Yeah, I know that kid. I've seen
him.
I
see Durant's playing every day now up in the Red Sox land. A lot of people have been picking him up.
Jaren Durant.
Yeah, I got a Julio. It's out of the Sapphire out 25 non-auto. I can't wait to see if that thing grades out.
I got a couple Julio autos. And I'm glad I bought which one did I get? I think I got the Mojo rookie PSA 10 a while back, cheap. I'm glad I did.
No, it's not Riley or O'Neal Cruz. Everybody's trying to guess. If I gave the rookie year out, it'd probably be a lot easier, but I don't even want to do that.
No,
It's
there's so many rookies, man. It'll be hard to
it's
kind of figure
nothing
out.
that was like this year's rookie or something like that.
I was
I can
thinking
tell you
Griffin
it's not a
Conine.
2021 one.
I was
It's
thinking
definitely
Griffin
not
Conine
that.
because he's leading the league in home runs.
Because if this dude gets called up in 5 years, maybe. You never know. Like I said, he wasn't like a top draft pick or anything like that. Just somebody I happen to take notice on.
It ain't a pitcher, we know that.
No, it ain't a pitcher. Honestly, the only reason I even found it originally, I found his stuff because I was playing around and there was a video of him of a game, and I was like, huh, interesting. And then I just started tracking, and then somebody was talking about how they own some of them. I'm like, huh. So I might have to put some money into it a little bit just to see, and picked a couple of them up. Again, it was nothing crazy I spent into it, but at the same time frame, I probably won't dump any more in either.
But that's the thing, guys. You're gonna dump money in the guys hoping that it pans out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I'm gonna tell you right now, probably 20% of the time you'll get lucky if it does.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it was in 2016. Yeah, because I was a breaker then. A buddy of mine has season tickets to the Yankees, and he kept talking Aaron Judge. I'm not going to lie. Aaron Judge,
Mm.
Aaron Judge, Aaron Judge.
Oh no, I know he's from here. I know all about him. I'm
Well, he never talked about a Yankees rookie like this because I'd known him since probably 2000. I don't know. It was probably, I don't know, 11, 12, something like that. So I was like, I'm gonna have to look into this. So I ended up getting in some finest breaks. I hit the green auto refractor of him, and I had the green auto refractor, and I picked up a couple other ones. And next thing you know, his Bowman first chromes were selling for like $1,000. And I'm like, what? It was insane onto that stuff. Now I didn't know anything about him. I just knew he was cheap. And I picked some up just for no reason at all, just taking a hunch. But
he's
this
from
guy
around
here
he's from around here, so I was
like
able to get
60 years. So
he's from around here, so I was able to get some done. I got his first Bowman and I got a Chrome Trop Prospect done. He's from around here, so I was able to get him.
oh yeah, I got some Bo Bichettes I got to grade. I got some Sapphire and stuff I need to get graded. Yeah, a lot of people are still buying Jordans right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying he's an undervalued player at his price. I don't know. No, actually, I sold my CJ Abrams because I'm not I don't know. I just didn't have a whole lot of hope in him, to be honest. I ended up having the 1 out of 75. I believe that was the black refractor. I had the purple. I think somebody else pulled me the base and regular refractor, and I moved those at some crazy prices.
You
And I
got
was
one of
like,
mine. You got
huh?
one of mine getting graded right now. I got a Topps Pro debut orange auto at a 25. You're getting graded right now.
Willie Calhoun. Wow. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I went big on Yohan Moncada. I still have hope for him, hopefully.
Dan, here's my thing with Durant. And everybody can take this however you want. I can tell you now, it'll be in a video on PSA. They just started grading a whole lot of Durant rookie cards, mostly the tops. Now, granted, yours was the black border, which is a very hard grade. I'll tell you that now. I think Durant is very undervalued due to the fact of his stats. If you look at his resume, I can't understand why his stuff is not more money. His stuff has increased, well, after he came back from injury for a whole year and stuff. But the guy is a great scorer. He has a lot of stuff on his resume. Was it now 3 gold medals?
Yep.
I just don't understand. To me, a Kevin Durant thing, if I could get one of his rookies raw and grade as a 10 is a hold for me. I tried with the gold medallion. He came back a 9, which is still a very hard grade for that being raw. And I still have a Fleer glossy behind me that I'm hoping it gets a 9, maybe a 10 onto it. But I'm a big fan of Durant. I really am. I think he has a lot that people just overlooked. And I think part of it was because he went to the Warriors and people started to shun him because he went to a team to go with Curry and everybody to win the championships, blah, 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 blah. Well, other players were doing it before him too. So I just didn't see the bad part of it. Then he goes up to the Nets. He's out for a full year, and he did well last year, but he basically carried a team. He carried the Olympic team, in my own opinion. So I think he is a great player overall, and he's just not looked at. I don't even know if he wins a championship with Brooklyn, if it'll do anything for him, because people are going to be like, oh, they got Kyrie, they got Harden, blah, 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 blah. But if you look, like, yeah, KD was great in the Olympics. He carried that team pretty much through the Olympics when you look at it. I don't know. It's just something about him. It sticks with me onto it. Now, granted, a lot of his autographs take forever redemption wise, it's almost 3 years. But, to me, it's something to hold on to because I think there's still room for his stuff to go up eventually. Now, all the Topps rookies and stuff, when I saw the guy that had all the Topps rookies at that show where I bought the gold medallion and the Fleer glossy, the Fleer glossy only had like 3 or 4 of. He had a ton of Fleers, a ton of regular Topps, the white border, a ton of the black border, a ton of the orange border. I'm like, man, these things had to be overproduced. That was my first thought. I knew the gold medallions were shorter, and I was using the mentality that the Fleer glossy had to be shorter too, because I'm thinking of glossy from baseball. So those were my thoughts originally onto when I picked those up.
Well, how you feel about Durant is how I feel about Curry.
Yeah, but Curry stuff sells very well and very high.
I have a feeling
Durant's doesn't even come close to Curry stuff.
And I think Curry stuff's going to get even more.
I really think Curry stuff's peaked until he retires. I don't think it's going to be much more going up.
Once he starts hitting some more records, it'll start going up.
Here's something I know is true. I know a couple big Curry collectors. A couple of them sold their like NT RPAs and stuff during the hype, and they rebought them back, and they still have a lot of money left over. So that just tells you one thing there. If they sold their stuff because they were so confident in rebuying them at a cheaper price, I think he still has some room to go up, but you're not going to see it go up like this. Durant, it went up. And now he did shoot up a good bit, but that was with the big surge onto everything onto it. His stuff still is not priced well for his resume. Curry's is, LeBron's is. I mean, when you start going through all those guys, I think Durant is kind of, I don't want to say a sleeper, but I think out of all the veterans that are out there with big resumes, his is one of them that really should be looked at a lot different. It's almost like where we talked about Peyton Manning cards. If you look at all the NFL quarterbacks during the surge, they all went stupid crazy in price. You have to compare him to a quarterback with types of cards and stuff like that there. Peyton Manning's stuff went up and then it went back down. And it's still a little bit above what it was, but it's not like everybody else where you're looking, if you compare a Peyton Manning NT auto to a Joe Montana, Steve Young, whatever, those are still up in value. Peyton Manning's still down here. It makes no sense. It's like he did something and everybody hated. Maybe he did Papa John's. I don't know. And I beat myself up for over a month trying to figure it out. And I couldn't do it. And I started looking at rookies. I mean, even crazy stuff like Bernie Kosar rookies went up and stayed up and it flowed on to it. But I can't compare him now to like Dan Marino rookie because you're talking two different styles of cards. So when I had to compare him to Dan Marino, I had to go both later in life. Dan Marino's retired now, and then his autos. And then I took like Peyton Manning with about, I don't know, a couple years before. And I think I even skirted up like 10 years after in rookie cards. And I was like, wow, this is just insane.
What about Drew Brees?
I told you, Drew Brees. We talked about it. His stuff went up and still up. If you look at his rookie cards, like his SP and stuff, they're still way up there in price. They may not be super high like they were, but they're still really, really high. You start looking at Peyton, unless you get like some off refractor Peyton Manning rookie card, it makes no sense. None of it does across the board. I don't want to play with your duck. It's out in the hall now. Ah, right. I threw it out in the hall. Now she's going to want to play back. Wasn't even thinking. T. Brian Hayes has a lot of hype behind him because he's about all Pittsburgh has rookie wise right now. And a lot of people are looking at it this way. Pittsburgh will release a rookie that's does decent. They'll go somewhere else and excel. Example, I mean, this is nothing. Jose Batista played for the Pirates. And what happened? He didn't hit already home runs, goes to Toronto and kills it. It goes on and on. Garrett Cole. This has been a nonstop thing with Pittsburgh for a longest time. I was surprised that they kept McCutchen as long as they did. I really, really was without getting rid of him. But that's the only reason why, because people know that Pittsburgh can they'll pick some people up in a draft and they don't develop them right, and they'll go to some other team and they'll get tweaked. The next thing you know, they're a freaking good and their stuff goes through the roof on prices.
There's only 4 rookies in baseball this year that actually I think did well.
Who was the dude that wants the Rays from Pittsburgh? It was a pitcher.
Glass now.
Yeah, there's one. They're now saying James Talion is going to be probably pretty pricey too now because he's gone.
Yep.
The only pitcher, and the sad part is the pitcher came in that really helped those kids was AJ Burnett. When he came in, he was such a mentor to those guys and helped them in their Pittsburgh careers to go elsewhere. Garrett Cole left, and he ended up even developing more to where he became a better pitcher. Now, his Yankee stuff, I don't know, there's like a Yankee curse for that stuff up there. I don't know.
Garrett Cole, tie-ons with the Yankees. Glass now, he's done for the year, but he went to the Rays. He was doing good. You're whatever you guys decided to do and get Chris Archer, I don't understand that. That was a horrible trade with the Rays, giving up Austin Meadows, and Austin Meadows has done pretty well with the Rays. Like I said, there's 4 rookies in this year's baseball class that I think have been doing good. Brian Hayes, Alec Baum, Madrigal before he got hurt, and Carlson.
Here, I'll pick it on Jeff Wilson with market movers.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's some stuff out there that, you know, I could pretty much can look at a lot of stuff and try to figure it out, but the Peyton Manning thing just stumped me to know it. I had all kind of stuff on a spreadsheet to where I was taking stuff over, trying to figure out. Heck, I was even taking information, putting it on a different sheet on the document, doing a pie graph, trying to look at it that way. And I just gave up. I mean, it was just mind-boggling because like a Peyton Manning finest rookie was, I forget what it was, like almost $300 during the hype, and then it went down to a $90 card. A $90 card for BGS 9.5, then it started creeping back up around 150, which is where it was before everything happened. And that was my start of the whole thing of the process. Like, let me see what like the Tops and Bowman and stuff were doing. And I mean, unless you start getting more of the elite products onto where the little bump is a little bit more significant, I mean, Topps Finest is a hard grade onto that stuff. And I just, even without coding, I just couldn't think of it.
Well, the Topps Chrome's a tough one too. That green or that gold border they had around was kind of tough too. You get a Topps Chrome refractor, you get a Bowman Chrome refractor, you get a Topps Finest or a Topps Finest refractor even. I mean, they had so many products back then too.
The Pirates are an example of a owner named Nutting who doesn't care about anything but pad in his pocket. It really is. And the thing was, he knew when he had a small little caliber playoff team, oh yeah, I'll spend a little bit of money and bring in Marlon Byrd and people like this, and give the people up more because guess what? I'm getting all that playoff revenue now. All these shirts are selling and everything else at the stadium. What are you doing underneath me, you little freak? Oh, you're duck.
Yeah, because that revenue sharing that baseball do is a joke. A lot of these
Oh, it
teams just
really is.
pocket the
Pittsburgh can't
money.
explain where all the extra goes to. They try
Yeah.
saying they use it in the what's that thing with the foreign market or prospecting thing where you get people out like Puerto Rico and stuff like
Oh,
that.
the
Yeah, they try
international
saying a
draft.
lot of it goes there and this and that. I mean, come on, they have a brand new stadium that was probably built. What was that? Oh, probably maybe 20 years ago now. It feels like
Hmm.
it was just built the other day because I was there when they tore Three Rivers down. Man, Three Rivers was great, but it was one building that played both games. Now they got stadiums side by side in the parking lot. You're a duck. Even Eli's stuff went up where Peyton's didn't, which made no sense. I'm telling you, I looked at all kind of stuff across the board. I just could not explain it. I started thinking, well, okay, this card's doing well, but then I just started finding other quarterbacks with different cards that would be similar to it to try to explain it, seeing if they had something similar and a percentage price going up and down. It was this is what I got to play with a duck. A duck. Quack, 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 quack with her. That's all she's hitting me with over here. I told you I had to while I was trying to wake her up before because this is what happens. 1 o'clock in the morning, she wants to play.
Just compare him to Ryan Leaf and Jay Cutler.
Brady Quinn.
Johnny Manziel. Jamarcus Russell.
Okay, we're done playing now. I threw a duck like 10 times. That was enough for her. Somehow I made it up the steps. I don't know how that happened when I threw it. It had to hit off of something out there. Oh, the hype trade on Jeter happened a while ago.
Hmm. His Stadium Club Murphy went down a lot. Now it's starting to creep back up because of the whole Hall of Fame ceremony coming up. I know that's got to be the reason why, because his Stadium Club Murphy was going down and down and down and down and down. Now it's starting to go back up a little bit because I have a Beckett 9, so I've been kind of watching it.
Well, you gotta remember, baseball has luxury tax if you hit a certain amount too.
Hmm.
That's why they don't use the word salary cap.
No, that's why the Yankees, Dodgers, and Red Sox get hit the most every year because they're always over the luxury tax. That's where all these revenue teams get their money from, the luxury tax. Because it's supposed to make it more competitive, which, the Orioles, the Pirates, the Diamondbacks, the Rangers, all those lower teams are not making it competitive.
Well, the thing is, they're not making it competitive because they're pocketing a lot of that money.
Yep.
They really are. I mean, when you're saying that you're barely over the league minimum and your team is like 30 some million in freaking salary, and they're getting more than that, it's all pocket going back into it. What they do?
Oh
What are they
yeah.
trying to fix? The freaking hot tubs for the guys? They're brand new. The price underneath warranty, stuff like that. It makes no sense onto it. Oh, we're making travel better for them.
Well,
Okay.
no, a lot of these teams, a lot of the stuff that they use facility wise is all sponsored anyways. So it really doesn't matter.
Retro Hoops just uploaded a messed up video about a guy subbed to PSA that was messed up and told them and sent them to HGA. I'm not an HGA person, so I can't really say anything on it.
I don't trust HGA.
Too new for me, too many errors that they haven't fixed, and I'm not down with it. They gotta fix a lot in their system before I'll send anything in. Yeah, I'm not real big on putting money into Tua right now. Baker at least has some season stats behind him. It will at least back him up a little. And that's not saying that Baker stays in Cleveland. What happens if he goes to another team? You know, he could do well, he could do bad.
Tua, I don't know about Tua yet. I don't know. I gotta see it this year. I'll know after this year. I mean, hell, I was thinking Kyler Murray was gonna be the next big step, and he still hasn't taken that step yet.
You know, you're on Google.
I am.
Yeah, it says that you collect luxury tax from Google for your YouTube channel, something like 37,000 per month.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wish.
Oh, they know you can't read the chat. They're still going at it.
Go for it.
Man, if he gets 37,000 a month for just hitting 300 subscribers, wow. I'm doing something completely wrong.
Go for it, keyboard warriors. Do your worst.
Lucky Hall of Fame. The Hemp Club. Yeah. I might watch the video. I've dealt with PSA since the early 2000s. I have good submissions, I have bad submissions. They've been in the news for bad things. Everybody has been. But until HGA has more stability and they're able to start doing the volume of 500,000 cards a month and stuff like that there, I won't invest into it. I've seen companies come and go through the early 2000s and people dumped a lot of money. I think one was called ITA, and then you had Gem out there and all these other ones, and none of them hung around. I think there was even one called PGS. I can't remember what it stood for. Pure graded.
I would give CGS a better bump over HGA. At least they're comparable with their comics. I give them a
I
bigger.
give them credit because they've graded comics, but they had to venture in a sports card world, and that's a totally different thing than comics. There's a lot you have to look at. You have to look at the auto. Did this card actually produced with an auto? Then you got to start looking at all kind of other variables onto it. I mean, there's so much to it that I don't know. I can't use I'm not going to use any new people anymore just for the fact that they got to be around for a couple years. The original sales on HGA, I feel where a lot of them were shielded up by people that were hyping HGA, and that's my own thoughts onto it. Until I can see sustainable stuff onto it, I mean, I know some of the auction houses now are allowing HGA, and I forget the other company in it now. Not CGS. There's another one out there,
If
and I'm
CGS
just
was if CGS were smart, they would split the difference from the 18 for no subs and 28 with subs and just go, all right, 24, and they just include the subgrades. I just don't get it. If you provide it, get it.
I would like to see, and this is the big picture of it all, because there's a lot of greed being involved with these groups that are buying into these grading companies and everything. They need to each make a section, and they can call it whatever they want to. But that section is part of a grading universe, however they want to word it, so that whenever there's a design flaw in a card or whatever it may be, they're all graded the same across the board. This defect we're not going to look at because we know it's universal and stuff like that there. I'm not saying that they all have to grade the same standard of what they consider centering more corners, more, however they do it, and stuff like that there. The biggest issue that I see is general flaws that or it could be either on that production run, or if we go old stuff, they had even flawless
Hmm.
back in the day in NT. There was wave one, wave two of releases. Pokemon's the same way. There's different waves. So wave one could have all kind of stuff that's jacked up, where wave two doesn't. If you look like 89 Fleer, you had the different versions of the Billy Ripken bat and stuff like that there. So I think if they each had like a small department and those guys all work together, whether they Zoom with each other, use Microsoft Teams or whatever, they lay it down pat and you're getting this stuff from your graders. We're like, hey man, we just graded like 10 of these cards for somebody and they all have this error onto it. Can you ask around for it? Yes, it would put a pause on probably that submission and any other cards coming through for a day or two. But if they all vigorously worked together as a unit, you would be able to have that as a standard for the grading overall. Will it ever happen? No, because everybody thinks that they're top dog and what they say should go, blah, 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 blah. Instead of working together with a somewhat of a cohesive unit that would make it fair across the board. An example would be the rookie card implant on what was that 2019-20 Prism. It wasn't on to where the indention was on the card at first. Some people were dinging it harder and everything else, and they're like, oh my gosh, Beckett's doing this, we got to do it now too, type deal. So I think it was something like that there. It's pretty out there to where they need to do it. HGA will be number one in 15 20 years. They could very well could be. I mean, if you got these investor groups come in, they mess up PSA, and Beckett's already on a downhill shift,
Yep.
and SGC somehow falters, they could be in 15 20 years. And if they are, you know, I probably won't still be collecting in 20 years, so it won't really matter. I got to look at from the time of now until whenever, and after that it's just gonna, I might hold some cards for PC maybe for a few years, but after that there's going to be a time frame when I'm in my late 50s early 60s where I'm just going to be like, I'm done, and I'll probably go to an auction house, like, sell it, give me whatever out of it, I really don't care. I'm going to enjoy my last X amount of years of life doing whatever I want to do. So to me, a 15 to 20 years, if they are number one, it'll be towards my down spire at that time frame. And if they are number one and say PSA is now dead, just transfer cards over, get different grades on them or whatever it may be, or just sell them outright and let other people worry about it.
Hmm.
But like I said, there's been so many different grading companies that came and went. And I mean, there's been all kinds of conspiracies because you got Beckett had their own magazine. They were pricing their own grading cards at one time frame. They had their own auctions, setting prices with it. To PSA's conspiracy theories. Well, really, SGC has no real conspiracy theories that I could think of out there. They only had their big old bad PR for their thing last COVID. HGA was with their labels and putting wrong things on it, grading that auto. It wasn't an auto. I mean, everybody's going to have their bad publicity. To me, it's how you handle that overall that deems you being good. And time frames, these companies across the board have had bad PR, very,
Hmm.
very bad PR, to where they fired back. And if I was somebody up in there like a CEO or something, like, my PR dude, you're fired for writing that. That's
Yep.
not how we deal with this. I got it. You took it to heart. You took it personal, but you can't take it personal.
Mm-mm.
You should have flowed this through to me. And if it was flowed to them, shame on them even more for putting it out there. But see, the other thing we got to realize is that the grading companies like Beckett, SGC, and PSA have been around for a while. They've been around prior to social media, to where we used to use dial up on AOL, and you were going on these little forums and stuff and doing trading and selling and stuff like that too. To where now you got all these different, I guess, platforms, apps, whatever you want to call them. So when something goes bad, it's everywhere. Nobody ever talks about the good on it. They all talk about the bad. It's almost vice versa when we talk about, our deals that we've done. We only talk about the good. We never talk about the bad. It's the same way with, a company wise. As soon as they do something bad, boom, it's all over. But, you know, I look at the how long the company's been around. Can they recover from what they did as well? Oh my, I'm missing a lot of chat now. Transparent grading team. I just because this is my idea. I wish everybody the best out there, but just because you float a good idea, it hasn't been done yet out there, or somebody hasn't incorporated it and they thought of it, you still got to do a lot with it. Just because you're going to show me your grades and be able to pull a QR code up and all that doesn't mean that I'm going to put my money and time and effort in, because I don't know if you're going to be around in 1 year, 3 years, or 5 years down the road. And I can't do it. Been doing this for way too long on to it.
Well, not just that. Your track record's got to say a lot. Who's the graders? Are they experienced? That's the thing.
And then
We
the
don't.
next question is, what do you consider an experienced grader? An experienced grader to me is somebody who has been doing this for a very long time, has looked at 100,000 plus cards into submission. And that's your guys that have been doing the group subs for a while. They've charged for their expertise. Somebody that's worked in a grading company before it's done. That's my criteria. It will differ from what you think or what anybody else thinks a grader should be considered experienced. And the only reason I say that, I mean, maybe 100,000 might be a lot of cards too, but you get the idea to where, and then you have a knowledge of all these cards that are out there, whether they're counterfeit, reprint, all this stuff across the board. A lot of it with the newer people, they might have experience, they might have great slogans and stuff like that there. But I'm a person that you're not going to sell me off your slogan at all. It might sound great, it might present well, but long term hold, I just don't know. I will not put my money into it. I did it years and years, well, actually decades ago, and I won't ever do it again.
Well, at PSA, they're the older guys are training the newer guys. Beckett, same way. Older guys are training. SGC, training. I get it, but they've been around for a long time. So those guys who are training these new ones are going to show them the knowledge that they have. All these new companies coming in, do you guys have someone from PSA or Beckett or SGC or that you hired to come in to show these kids or these guys the experience they need? No, you're not.
Yeah, and that's the thing is I got it. If somebody sends some LeBron rookies and Aaron Rodgers card rookie autos to a certain company to grade, you're going to get that eventually with a grading company. You might be like, hey, man, why don't you send me a few of those cards over and I'll grade them for free? And then when I hear something like that being done, the first thing that comes to my mind, are they really getting a free, honest grade onto that card? Or
Nope.
is it going to be one of those? I don't know. I don't know. And it's just because of what I've dealt with from cards for probably the last 5 years that makes me think stuff like this. Before, I probably wouldn't have offhand. But nowadays, everybody's scheming for money. And it makes me wonder, did that card really deserve that grade? Because it was, we're just going to say it got a PSA 7, and now X company now gives it a 9.
Are you giving it a 9 because you're helping your friend out because he
And
sent
you're
it in
helping
for
your
free
business saying we
and you're
graded
getting your
this
name out
card like
there?
that.
Yep.
And that's the part that really catches me the most onto it. And I've said this before. I know people have sent cards in to be reside to PSA and they've come back lower grades. And they're fighting that battle to get their money difference because of it. But standards of grading have changed over the time frame big time. What was a PSA 10 in 2010 when you had it graded might not be a PSA 10 now. And that's the bad part. And it could be because the cards shifted. It could have been out in the sun and faded or whatever it may be, the reason. Um, it's just one of those things out there. And just because, and Tom, don't take this the wrong way, just because somebody says they've been a collector for a long time doesn't mean they know the hobby the way they do. And I hear this all the time from shows and stuff. Oh, I've been doing this for 30, 40 years, 20 years, and their knowledge is bad. It really is. And I see how they handle their cards. I've noticed, and it could be just by showing their card. They grip it in the palm to where their corner's in right here into their palm. That's not a good way of doing it. Grab it like this and hold it to where you can see it. I see people put their fingers without gloves on over the autos and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if that was signed with a Sharpie, you just really could have messed that up if you had any kind of sweat on it. So with that there, I mean, I'd never take anybody that I don't know saying they've been in a hobby and they're an expert offhand. They have to earn that reputation with me. And from what I see from a lot of guys saying it, they're not. No way am I an expert. I tell people, don't go quote me. I'm no expert. I just do a lot of research onto this stuff onto it. There's a lot more people that are way more knowledgeable that they live and breathe this 24/7. I have a day job. I can't breathe it 24/7 like they do. And there were times where I had to take breaks from the hobby due to my career being either in Afghanistan, Iraq, training events, whatever it may be. So I missed products. So yeah, I would, like I said, with that there. Yeah, I see what you said when I sent him my Kobe rookie note, but I would send him some PC stuff. Now, here's the other part I will say with it too, Tom. Somebody wants to send something in because they want something displayed in their house and they don't care about overall onto the value and stuff like that there. I think
That's a
that would
different
be
story.
good. Yeah, see, Shannon, I have the same thought process you do. I've been collecting for decades and I don't even know it all. There was somebody brought up to me in an email or a comment about the 2012 glass cards and Panini made out. They came in Panini Elite. I forgot about because during that time frame, I was deployed at those came out. I remembered them and I remembered they had like a gold variation. I had to do research on before I responded back to them. Now, somebody else that's been doing this like constantly, especially dudes who are like breakers since like 2000 and I think I remember 5 and stuff. Those dudes do remember their products. They remember it because they handled so much of it. Those guys there, I would trust.
I took it out a little too soon, but it was like 99.8. But it feels hot, but it's kind of stuffy in his room. So
I think PSA will lower prices, but it won't be anytime soon until they can stabilize their flow of cards coming in and how they're going to do it.
how much longer do you have on that? Okay.
I don't know why.
No, I told him I was gonna check on him at 1 o'clock because
Oh yeah, I remember that too with that
2
stuff.
o'clock you should get everything in medicine. I don't worry about it.
You got yelled at.
No, my son check on him.
But yeah, I mean, I remember doing the raw cards on eBay. Now you don't even dare try to put raw cards up there.
Nope. I got some raw cards up there, but I'm just like, I put them in there. Cards sold as is.
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing with a lot of the companies offhand. Like I said, all the new ones. Nothing against them. I always wish them the best of luck in their future endeavors, which kind of sounds like a bad WWE release in a way. But you know, even if I had a friend who started a grading company, I probably wouldn't grade with him. Even if I knew he's been a group submitter for freaking 10 years or whatever, and he's submitted over 100 million cards and looked at them, you have to still gain the trust and reputation of it. It's just not you, it's the people that you hire to do that work. Because that person that I trust might be running the company, but he's not going to oversee all the grades and everything coming through. You humanly can't. I mean, now even if a group of 20 dudes that I knew did it, I probably would be very skeptical onto it. I'd be like, man, I'm sorry, I just can't send anything in because I've been burnt one too many times in the past. I love your ideas. You guys are doing great. You got want to come on YouTube and talk about it and stuff like that. You're more than welcome to. Um, but until there's something to where I see stable numbers going across the board, I don't want to jump into it.
Unless you hired someone from PSA or Beckett that's been around grading for a long time, that's training all them the right way and the way that they were taught and the way it needs to be taught, I'd bounce out. I'd be like, no, I can't. Because someone at PSA and Beckett, if they're a senior grader, they're going to have years and years and years, maybe decades of experience on it. That's a different story.
Now, granted,
then
every
those
grader's got to start somewhere because here's the thing: we had a big influx. People had to get trained. They had to go through. There's
Yep.
going to be a ton of errors every which way. People aren't going to agree with their grades. It's a given at that point. It was like, oh crap, we got to hire and get people in here to meet the demand,
Yep.
and we got to get this stuff pushed out. So all these new graders, we're going to put them on the cheaper stuff. You guys are moving here, 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 and it'll give them time to look at it and stuff like that there until they get comfortable in what they're doing.
I
I
would have
mean,
to
a lot of this we brought upon our own selves by it. I mean, I can't blame just the grading company. I got to blame it on ourselves. And at the same time frame, I got to blame the companies making the cards that overproduced them so much too. It's not just the fault of a grading company; they can't handle the demand. It all starts back with the manufacturer, then to the person who's submitting all these cards because the value's going up and everything too. Yeah, I try to with the new prices, SPF. I'm pretty much to where if I look at the card graded or raw and it's selling for X amount of dollars, unless it's some rare version of a card that I know it's going to gain momentum, I just backed out of it. A lot of the raw stuff base that I know people are going to want because they just want it, I'll just send to SGC and do quick flips on it. And then I take the money and I go buy that auto or low pop number card at the end onto it.
or reuse part of that money to get some more stuff graded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just got to figure out what works best for you and what makes the most logical sense overall.
But that's the thing. When you send this stuff to PSA, you can't just think 10, 10, 10 every time. You got to think, well, what's worst case scenario? What's it going to look like in an 8 or a 9? You're still going to be able to make a profit on an 8 or a 9. Because if not, you're going to lose every time.
I never bank my stuff off of tens, and you know this when I do the insurance, I
Yeah.
bank it off a 9.
Yep.
If it comes back at 8, I better break even off of what I did.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
A 9 is profit across the board, and that's the way I look at 10. I'm just gleaming with a smile from ear to ear and drooling because it just means I did real well. And yeah, you gardening. I got what you, I knew what you meant there. I figured it was probably an autocorrect or something. But yeah, that's the thing is there needs to be more open forums to where people can talk about grading companies to where the person that's hosting is not from a grading company. Because then it starts turning into our company does this, they do that, this, they, me. I'd rather just talk openly about it. And, like I said, every company's going to have their own faults across the board. It's always to me how they handle it and come across. And granted, the longer you've been in an established business and doing it, yeah, you get a little more credibility out of me. The surge, boom, whatever you want to cause, they caused a huge riff, and that's the bad part of it all. Beckett, I don't think will ever get caught up in like 2 years. It's like they gone non-existent on trying to get more graders and more building space to handle their demand. PSA did.
They're stuck in the old ways. They're not willing to change. They're
Well, I
stuck in their
think they
old
have their
ways.
money in other places. That's why they don't really worry about it too. You look at PSA, they went and got another building. They hired more employees. What was the effect? Well, now people are starting to be like, well, I didn't get the grades I thought I was. Da 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 da. Grading subjective. I hate PSA. I'm going to crack these and send them to SGC, Beckett, HGA, whatever it may be to get a better grade. Da da da. Well, now you got more money tied up in grading fees in that card, and you better hope that second time it comes back the grade you think it deserves. Because if not, now you're even digging yourself more into a hole. And like the story I was starting before, I had a buddy who was into cards big time, and about when did he do this? I went into COVID teleworking in March, so somewhere in January he had this brilliant idea. No, it was a little before January because that's when Lucas started spiking. Somewhere late, what was that? So last year was what, 2020, 2019. He was like, I want to really get into this and I don't want to have to cash in my IRA and stuff like this. He's like, you know what? I owe very little on my home. He goes, I'm just going to refinance it at a comfortable price and put it in the cards. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't mess with my home. That was just me. So he took out a chunk of money. Now it was nothing. It was stupid to where his mortgage went, into like 1,500, 2,000. It was still like $600-700 a month. Because like I said, he didn't have much left to pay on it. So he went out there and he started like trying to figure out what to buy into. And, he started watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. And he did really well on his own. As COVID happened, he started watching, I guess we can call them influencers, investor channels. And he didn't really tell me what he was doing and stuff. And he's like, man, I keep buying everything these guys telling me to. And now the cards are going down. I'm like, dude, do you realize they already bought into those cards and they're hyping their own stuff up? He's like, oh man, I really messed up here. I'm like, what all did you buy? And he started naming off like Giannis base Prism rookies and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, if you were going to buy stuff, you should have went limited autographs, low numbered cards. Now, needless to say, luckily, he still caught it while the mark. He didn't take a huge loss, but he did still take a good chunk of a loss. And he refocused then. And during that time frame, nobody touched vintage yet. Vintage was not one of them ones where like a Nolan Ryan rookie, like a PSA 2 you get for $300. Now it's like $1,000. He quickly turned his thought mentality and he went different avenues where people weren't into already. He hit hockey, he hit vintage, and he was hitting like Dan Marino rookies, Jerry Rice, Montana, and stuff like that there. And I told him, I said, listen, if that stuff spikes, you need to sell it unless it's a PSA 10, like low pop count card. And he did, thankfully. And he started picking it up. But yeah, long story short, he was very fortunate that he realized he had a problem, addressed it to a few people that he trusted, and luckily at the end he has some nice PC cards, sold the rest, and repaid his house off. It was very fortunate for him that he had a tight group of people that were able to be like, dude, you've seen it wrong. You did well in the beginning, but then you started listening to other people. And that's why I kind of a little bit have a sour taste in my mouth when it comes into that stuff there, because this guy here, collected as a kid. He collected a little bit in his teenage years, Then he came as an adult. He's like, man, I always wanted this and I have the money for it. I'm going to go buy me like a Jordan rookie or whatever it may be. And then he started thinking like, man, if you guys seen like how these prices and flawless and NT, I think I'm going to get into this with you guys. And when he started talking about, I was like, I wouldn't do that. Bad idea. But luckily, the way it turned around, it happened offhand. Okay, let me catch up here.
But not just not just that. Another thing is, don't buy beyond your means. Don't try and get what everybody else is getting. Get what you're comfortable with. Get what you can afford. That's the problem. People want to be like, "Oh yeah, I got this." Who? It doesn't matter. You just got to be comfortable with what you get. Be comfortable with what you're buying.
Shannon, do you mean prices are going to be lowered for how much you spend on submissions or their overall value?
And there's an old saying: if you can't buy it now, save up for it. Save up. And by that time you save up, you may not want that car. You may be like, man, I have this money. I might not want it now. I might want something else. At least you got it.
Somebody said you gave him advice to buy Joey Manziel and Tim Tebow cards. He still hasn't recovered.
I gave him that.
Yeah. Again, you can't read the chat, so I'm just reading certain things out. That's kind of funny.
Manziel, Tebow, no, sorry.
What are you saying? Joey's still telling people buy Tebow. That's his tight end.
I ain't telling people to buy Tebow.
Joey's been buying Tebow up left and right. You don't understand. Dude went out there, sold his 2 kids' cars so he could buy Tim Tebow's. His kids now either have to ride in the back of his truck to work, or they got to take the not John Deere. What's the name of that damn tractor to work?
What, Case?
Whatever your tractor is. I always say John Deere, and you say we don't use John Deere's. We have so and so. I don't know what it's
Case.
called.
We have Case, but
okay,
hey,
yeah,
well,
or it makes kids walk.
They're on their Chevrolets.
Cars to buy Tim Tebow's.
Well, they're on their Chevrolets. They're on their Escalades. That's all I can tell them. Sorry. At least they're going to have strong legs. Hell, start running. You'll get there faster.
Shannon, I see submission prices eventually dipping down, but I think it's going to take that company overall to be way ahead. They're not getting the volume in to where it's making quarterly profits to pay their employees. So they'll dip the prices down so they can get more in. Beckett's just so far behind. I don't see them dipping prices for a very, very long time. PSA will be probably the first one to dip prices, and I don't see that being probably for another year.
I think they drop prices as the collectors and the market go. If it starts to go back down and not a lot of people get out of it, they'll probably drop their prices. But when more people get back into it again, like they did, they'll jack it back up. Supply and demand.
I think when there's a surge and they see profit to be made, everybody sees the money and greed. Now, granted, I will say this: PSA bought a new building that hire all these new employees. So now you have all these new expenses. Now, Grand Collectors Universe bought the building, blah, 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 whatever. They're still owned by. So now they have to think, how are we going to adjust to cover these expenses, not the initial, but overall throughout time? Now, it's very easy. PSA can start laying graders off and stuff like that there, but I think they would be to the point to where they're going to be like, let's just open up this quarterly special.
That, or what they'll do is, lower prices on certain things and keep some prices higher. Like they do the threshold of the card, what the card's value at. That's what the threshold's going to be. I mean, I can see if they're like, oh, this card's $199, and if our threshold's $199, we'll put the submissions at $12. They'll make a killing because a lot of people will send in a bunch of crap to get done. And they'll make their killing
too in that
area. It'll back them up in that area, but they're still making their money and they're getting their stuff paid off, and their employees are still getting paid. You have your prices. Yeah. You have your prices too high. It's going to limit to what people want to send in. Yeah, you still have the diehard PSA guys who are nothing but PSA. But the more volume you have coming in, the more money you have coming in. So I can see them doing the price drop. It all just depends on how the market goes and how many people are still in it in a year from now. How many people get out of it? How many people move around?
Well, I could also see to a fact that, okay, say Panini doesn't keep an NFL only, an NBA only license, you get Topps Upper Deck back in. I could see that the prices wouldn't go back down for a while because you're going to have a lot of people pulling stuff and be like, oh my gosh, I just pulled. Let me think. I just pulled the first. Oh wait, who's somebody that just came? I just pulled the first Zion Topps Chrome, gold shimmer, blah 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 blah, and stuff like that. There, I do like how PSA in a way does have their stuff bracketed by overall value.
Yep.
To a point, I think some of this stuff needs to have raised limits on the value wise for the amount of money we're spending, and I gotta hit something up. Remind me to talk to you about my survey from PSA today here in a minute, because I'll probably forget. But I think when you start getting into the 1 day things, those make sense. I think Super
Yeah.
Express makes sense, and Express to a point.
Hmm.
But I think regular and below needs to be worked on to make it a little bit better than what it is. But okay, so I got a survey from PSA today talking about shipping because I do a lot of shipping with them.
Hmm.
And it basically came down to a question to where they wanted to know if it was because of the cards being stolen from PSA, if I would just go to a FedEx location and pick it up. And I'm like, no, because here's my point: it's FedEx employees stealing it. So why would I go to a FedEx location? And my FedEx location that's closest to pick up is Louisville. That's a freaking 45 minutes to an hour drive. No. You can still
No.
send them to my UPS store where it's the same thing as a FedEx location. The
Well,
UPS people aren't going to steal my cards at the UPS store. I mean,
UPS. I mean, even if
but
you use the
my
post office or hell, what's that other one? DHL or whatever. I mean, if you or certified mail or whatever you got to do. But if you know cars are getting stolen from FedEx, why would you keep sending them to FedEx like that?
Well, the thing is that not everything's FedExed out. You got to remember, if you in order to have it FedEx, you have to have a FedEx account or a UPS account. They're trying to make it more productive to where it goes from them FedEx to a FedEx location. You go pick it up, so there's less hands. The issue is the people in the USPS, I should say, are the one where when you get your regular mail back from PSA, if you don't put in a UPS account number or FedEx account number, you're not getting it that way. You have to have it sent USPS, and that was their issue with it. And I kind of got what they were saying and trying to do, but I would still rather it go to where I have it at, or just send a FedEx to my house. I don't
Well,
care. Because
well, not just
if
that.
their
They wanted.
biggest issue, if their
Uh,
biggest issue is that the post office, they're having issues getting the insurance, and I know why, because I had to go through this to begin with.
mm-hmm.
FedEx is much easier with it on the insurance purposes. What they should do is just make it only we only ship FedEx back to you. You don't have to have an account. If you have an account, you could use it and get your cheaper rate. Otherwise, this is what you got to pay. I can understand that.
If they want you to pick it up, what if I don't get off work until 6 o'clock and FedEx is closed? I work 5 days. I mean,
That's what I was thinking as well too. Now I forgot there was a FedEx little hub down here. It's about 30 minutes from me, maybe 25. Well, no, because it's further than where I used to live. And the only reason I knew because a buddy of mine had a gun sent, and in order to do the whole gun thing he had
mhm,
fixed, they had to go to that
yeah,
FedEx location. I didn't know it was there, but I don't know if they'll send cards there for a holdup. But now they're open till like 7 or 8. Now that's the other thing. When I was in Carson, the FedEx location was open until like 8 p.m. at night, the hub for
hmm
pickups. Like they would shut down at 4 and then he would open it back up like 6 to 8 for pickups only. You had to go to certain
yeah,
things. It might be the same thing in your area like that.
yeah. Because I mean, I work from 7 to 6, and if they close at 5:30, how am I going to get my stuff? It's like, well, I have to pick it up, but I can't get off work. I don't agree with that.
Oh, FedEx insurance price sucks. Yeah, I don't know. I'd never used them for it, but that was what their survey came out today onto it. And I took time and I mean I went through it and everything like that, but I got where they're saying it's really not that packages are left in people's mailboxes and stuff that's being stolen, but it's the employees, so many hands handling around the way to where things are stolen. They didn't even use the word damaged, it was stolen. And that's what really threw me off. So I kind of have an idea what's happening is that there people are having stuff stolen. Well, because you had it shipped from PSA, they're still held responsible. They got to pay you, then they got to claim it on their insurance and get it. And I think they're having issues like how I did, and that's why.
Well, here's the thing: if you're worried about that, then change the label of your packaging to not say PSA or Collectors Universe. Have it say something else. So these employees don't know, oh, this is from PSA. Oh, this is from Collectors Universe. This has to be cards.
Oh yeah, we can't talk PWCC in here anymore. They just that I don't like it. They're anonymous with their bidders. They're shill bidding. I watched how they let people go in their vault and handle their cards. I don't know the whole idea behind it, but just even if the guy owned those cards, no, I'm just not a fan. And then you're in there with other people's cards. I don't care if you're a mega millionaire, trillionaire. You're going in there with other people's cards in there, and it's open. No, 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 not at
Mm-mm.
all.
No.
Not a fan. Yeah, I mean, it all brings up some great, stuff onto it. I even forgot about the thing that we started talking PSA now. I just remember I did that survey today. And it was just really interesting because I got where they're trying to go with it, but they didn't word or ask the correct questions onto it. And when it was all about stolen, it didn't say damage. It rang a thing in my head, and I'm like, they're having to cover all that, and they're having an issue getting that insurance money. So
Mm-hmm.
and the thing is, you have to use an insurance provider onto. It's not like you could use like a business homeowner insurance thing. It's going to cover that. It's not. It's only going to happen what happens in your business. Once it leaves out there, you got to buy a supplemental insurance for it. So I'm really starting to wonder if their shipping policy is somehow going to change here coming up, because the last time that they sent something out was about how we would deem it was a longer survey with a lot of explanation about how they should reopen the market, how they want the stages. Should each stage have two different types, like under express, you want express backdoor in this time frame or this time frame, two different prices, blah blah blah, and all that. And like I told him, I think you're getting too big for your head right now and offering so many freaking services. Once you get caught up, you need to stage it properly and then start looking and determining off the card values and the market and everything where you stage your prices at. Because I
Now,
don't think it's fair if the market dumps and I'm spending $200 on a card. Express was it 200 I spent on Express? Yeah, $200 a card. I
mm-hmm.
think it was Express, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, or
200
was it
for Express,
300?
300 Super Express.
Okay, yeah, it was 200 a card,
Mm-hmm.
and it just doesn't make sense because the market drops. You got to go with how the trends are out there. I got everybody wants their little greedy hands onto it, but at the same time frame when the stuff drops, you need to drop as well too with it.
Now, if PSA was smart, I would try and work a deal out with Amazon and have Amazon do the delivering. Amazon's going to have the money for the insurance. I know post office, they're always borrowing money from the government, and UPS, I mean, I don't know how theirs is, but to me, I would probably PSA, I would talk to Amazon and work out a deal and have Amazon do my delivering.
So you're saying that? Oh, I gotta watch the time on here because I don't know how long I put Zoom on for tonight. I used to work for FedEx. It's been impossible to win an insurance case with FedEx with all the fine print. Well, that's good to know because now I know never to use that. See, I would have known that. I would have figured FedEx would have been a little bit easier on it than what the post office is because the post office falls under the federal government where FedEx and UPS aren't. So I would
Mm-hmm.
have thought they would have been handled a lot easier than the regular post office. That's good to know. Very good to know.
Independent company. But yeah, I would talk if I was PSA, I would talk to Amazon. They got the money and they got the insurance up the yin yang to where Amazon, that's just a drop in the bucket for them.
I don't know if I want Amazon delivering that stuff though. Still, because I've seen how the Amazon dudes. There's nothing against them either with their job, but here's an example. I have a covered porch. Why put the freaking package right against the steps when if it's raining out when you have a whole covered porch? Put it up against the freaking door.
Well, you got to
Laziness
remember
comes into play.
the post office does deliveries for Amazon on Sundays.
They do. I
Yeah,
know.
so
I always see them out with it.
I don't know. To me, Amazon, yeah, maybe they can get better on that, but they're the ones who's going to have the better insurance out of everyone, all of them. They got the money.
If you win, FedEx only insures up to 1,000. Oh wow.
Oh shit.
Yeah, see the post office, if you do Priority Mail Express is up to 10 grand, but if you want more, it's through this special service, and I forget the name of it now, but they have to use this special tape on your boxes, and this stuff's hand carried the whole way. Like the person that does it, it's signed every time it changes hands and all this stuff. It will never get there overnight. If you're going East Coast to West Coast, he told me it could take 2 weeks to get there, but you will always know where your package is and who has it in their hand. And that's one of the things you have to evaluate when you're going to do this, because you just can't walk into PSA and drop off cards. You could find a show, but I don't know if I'd want to carry that big of a card there and people seeing me having it too. I have different reasons for different things. If I did that, I'd probably bring 3 or 4 buddies with me, and they would be armed for this whatever the state local concealed carry is. But it's still doing all that just to make sure you're safe to do. It's just stupid anymore to me. They use something with StockX because their boxes come from StockX. I don't know their whole deal with them, to be honest. I think it's just one of their promotion things that StockX does with their agreements for advertising on their boxes, maybe. But I don't know. StockX does not ship or do any of their stuff for them. Because I know where my stuff comes from PSA all the time. Okay, so that's why you have to have an account with FedEx. That makes sense then, because that's why they want your account number with FedEx to just ship high value items. That makes sense. Okay. Yep, now I understand completely. Thank you. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense because the regular insurance only covers 1,000. Yep, that makes sense. All right, guys, I'm going to cut this because I don't remember if I put this in for 4 or 5 hours for the Zoom tonight. I don't want this stream to cut on us while we're here and then trying to reset something up, to be honest. I appreciate everybody coming in tonight again and hanging out with us. Won't do this next week because we'll have the auction on Saturday. The following Friday, overtime be back. So we'll have 2 weeks of plenty of great stuff to talk about. Keep your eye open for the videos. I will probably, I'm like 99% sure I'm coming live to run the giveaway tomorrow. So look at like 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on that. Just because I got some errands to run, and the cutoff's 5 to get the last entry in. Okay, just make sure I got what comments I did. But yeah, I appreciate everybody tonight. You guys have a good, safe weekend. If you could hop on tomorrow for a little bit when I'm on doing the giveaway, please come on, because if you're a winner, I can open up for you live if you want, or I just ship it out. But that way, at least I can get addresses of everybody down for the boxes. All right, guys, we're out. We'll see you guys Saturday for the auction. I'll kick it off. There might be somebody between me and Joey, but I'll let you all know that for Thursday for sure. All right, guys. Yep. Have a good weekend, and we'll see y'all later.